Fuck off!
God's on the radio. You got Buddha on the audio. Scott Bale on the telephone. Dan Rather at Presidio and putting all the knowledge in the same game. Mark on the stereo. You got rum in your Cheerio. Lift up from the get-go. Grab another spoon. It's the most important meal of the day.
You gotta. You gotta. You gotta. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up
God's on the radio with the world in his video. Phil Collins in the studio. Phil Collins in the studio. Spark on the stereo. You got Drambuie in your Cheerio. No better way to let go. Grab another spoon. It's the most important meal of the day.
You gotta. You gotta. You gotta. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up. You gotta turn it up louder. You gotta. I gotta. We gotta. Don't you know we gotta?
Don't you know we gotta? Audio test. How am I sounding? We're working with the new Yeti. And I'm just, we're still just kind of figuring this sucker out. This is the first show with the new Yeti. Hello, Lana. Let me know how it sounds, okay? Please and thank you. Much appreciated. And then as soon as somebody gives me some feedback, we will get started. How am I sounding? The Yeti sounds good. Okay, great. Thank you, Tyler. Let's start with some action figures. I got some action figures from Big Bad Toy Store. Cool stuff. Check this out. Lemmy from Motorhead comes with his bass and his tattooed arm. Kind of has the mole on his face, even although you can't see it through the plastic bubble. Kind of has a mole on his face. Awesome. This is great feedback. Thank you, guys. And look at this. You can actually hear the bass in my voice now. I can't wait to listen back when this is over. So there's my Lemmy. I know there's a few, I think there's a new Lemmy that's coming out as well, but I'm going to open Lemmy and I'm going to put him up there with Rob Halford and Ghost and Iron Maiden and all those other figures. Picked up two Planet of the Apes figures. I got Taylor and Cornelius. Haven't decided if I'm opening them yet or not. I mean, the cards are nice. You can really justify keeping them in card. I keep the cards regardless, but I mean, doesn't that just take you back to the 70s? Rob is shocked. Rob knows what I'm talking about, though. This is the exact style and size of the old Kenner figures. Looks like Cornelius comes with a sacred scroll, and Taylor comes with the rifle that he's bearing at the end of the movie. From my cold, dead hands. From my cold, dead hands. I also got Papa. This was actually a free figure. I have this green Papa. It's behind me. You can see him up there right where my finger is. But he was loose when he came, and I didn't want him loose. So I said, hey, you guys sent me a figure that the bubble came off, and they said, oh, okay, just take another one. This is too nice to not keep carded. It's too nice to not keep carded. Rob knows what I'm talking about. No Kung Fu grip, Chris. Kung Fu grip kind of came later in that scale of action figure. I remember when the G.I. Joes got the Kung Fu grip, it was about 83. And the Kenner Star Wars figures started in 77. No, these are actually... Oh, yes, they're from the 68 film. That's correct. They're not vintage from 68 action figures, but they are from the 68 film, yes. Do go looking, Taylor. You may not like what you find. I think he says, do not go looking, Taylor. I can't remember what he says exactly, but Taylor did not like what he found. Oh, and I also got some more bases to put the figures on. Each box comes with a unique colored base, one in each box. All the other ones are clear. The last one I got was, I believe, orange, but kind of cool. And finally, I ordered a blind box alien. It could be one of 4 different colors inside. Acid Blood, Nebula Nightmare, Rage, or Ghost. And this one I'm going to open. So let's open it. Let's open it right now, shall we? Just use a little pin here to cut the tape. Blind boxes are meant for opening, in my opinion. Blind bagged inside a blind box. Ah, neat. It's the red transparent alien. That's neat. I like it. That's wild. It's got some elastics on its head. There we go. Pull those off. Ooh, transparent dome. Got to be careful there. That popped off. Transparent dome. That's neat. I like it. The figure itself is also translucent. That's cool. Rob, I do not remember. I'll get back. Shit. Dome keeps popping off. I'll get back to you on that one. I will look at my invoice and tell you what I paid. This is more annoying than I thought it was going to be. Okay, get in there. Anyway, so there's some figures that I bought. They're pretty cool. This is all from Big Bad Toy Store, although you can get it also from the Super 7 website as well, direct from Super 7. That's how I got most of my Iron Maiden figures. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, and non-binary as well, we're very inclusive here. Tonight, we are talking about blind buys. And blind buys is when you buy a record or a CD or some form of music and not knowing very much about what you're buying. There's something about it that you are attracted to, that you are not necessarily going in there knowing what it's going to sound like. But you go in there, and we're going to talk about our top 11 blind buys, meaning our top 11 ones that turned out well. Not all do. Not all blind buys turn out well. But I've got 11 that turned out great tonight, and I'm very, very, very excited to tell you about them. Aaron has 11. Actually, I bet you Aaron, knowing him, he's got runners-up. I'm guaranteeing he's got runners up. And another thing about Aaron is that he probably doesn't have his in any specific order, but I do. This time I put my list in order. So, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we talk to Aaron about blind buys? Do you want to do that? Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, let's talk to Aaron. Hey, buddy, how are you? Aaron on
Hi.
spec.
I'm very well. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Hey,
I don't know
wore
if you
for
happen to see. Oh, Rush!
Now, this
What
was
is-
not
okay,
purchased
Snakes and
on
Arrows.
spec. It was not purchased on spec.
Gotcha.
No, it's all good.
I don't know if you caught what I was just doing there, but I'll show you something you'll like. Lemmy from Motorhead action figure.
Fabulous.
And he
Well, it
comes with
doesn't
his
come with a
base.
slot machine. That's too bad.
Does not come with the slot machine, but does come with the base.
That's a real missed opportunity.
It kind of is, actually. It's kind of a maybe a not well-known reference, but it's to those of us who know Lemmy, he was glued to that slot machine.
Yes, he was.
And I believe it's I think it's dedicated to him now. Like there's a plaque on that slot machine now. Maybe someone who's watching knows what I'm talking about. Lana points out some of my Def Leppard box sets. Yes. Chris Thus has some movie blind buys that did not work out well, mostly sequels. And I know what you're talking about, Chris. I was with you on many of those blind buy trips, and I made plenty of mistakes myself. Ooh.
Hey, speaking
Nice.
of Lamb of God, hold on a sec.
Yeah. I do not know that one, Rob.
I just got this in the mail this week.
Oh, nice. Live in Richmond. That's an official release, I guess.
Yes, this is the new album performed live in their hometown.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
So,
cool. Well, I was just talking about this whole blind buys thing.
Yeah.
And I've been with you on so many trips. And the BMV basement, where it's the 3 for $10 bin, is some of the best blind buys that you've made, I think. But we'll get into that. We're not going to ask you for specifics till we start the lists.
I will also say my work is a great source.
Yeah. Now we
Because
won't,
I can-
of course, we won't disclose the exact workplace, but you do work in a place where you get secondhand goods.
Very cheaply.
Yeah. Oh, Frank would like to see that album again, so we'll put you
sure.
close up. Nice. I love clocks.
It
I'm a
is-
sucker. See if we can read that sticker. Live performance of Lamb of God self-titled album from Richmond, Virginia on 150 gram. Is that 150 gram?
Yeah,
black
50.
vinyl?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the tracks. How do I? It's always backwards to
There
what
we go. We got it. It's a little, we're getting a little glare, but there you go.
It's
You can
mostly
see
my
that.
forehead.
You can pause your YouTube. There you go. Just pause on your YouTube, and there you got it.
The precious.
The precious.
Yes, I got to see Lamb of God on the Slayer farewell tour, and they were phenomenal.
I have no doubt.
Fabulous.
I have no doubt.
Yeah.
But sorry, back to the blind buys thing.
Mm.
You're kind of legendary for it.
Uh-oh.
But remarkably enough, it wasn't you who suggested this theme tonight. It was actually
No.
Kevin. It was
Yes.
Kevin. And I have an idea. Why don't we just ask Kevin about it right now?
Oh, that's a nice segue. Well done.
Hey guys,
Heyo.
Kevin and Sarah. Sarah and Kevin.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
We're all good?
Priest.
All right.
Is that Painkiller?
That's right. Yes, representing last week. And the shaft this album got last week,
You did
I think it should have been much higher. Much
Now,
higher.
Sarah and I are. of a
Sarah's
month
walking
ago.
presto.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
She's got
There you
presto.
go.
this
Right?
is one of my oldest T-shirts right here.
I'm boring.
Zayre's
Stairs.
birthday.
Epilepsy
Epilepsy
awareness.
awareness. No,
Well,
you win.
It's a good,
You
good
win.
cause.
Yep.
Theirs is
Yeah,
still
it is a
around,
good
right?
cause.
Theirs is still around, yeah.
We don't have that here.
Oh, we have one. I can see it from my kitchen window.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. We had one in Barrie.
It was really nice and very.
Yeah.
Kevin, I was just telling the people out there that you're the originator of this list idea.
Well, you guys asked to have Sarka Sim back on, and it just seemed like to be something that would fit because she does have a lot of blind buys. So
Yeah, you guys are also well known for it.
I don't know if I'm well known for it. I usually stick to bands that I know, but a lot of the like we do a lot of trips to the Karen Share, which is a little mission thrift by our place, and they just have CDs there for $2. So you end up buying, stuff that you normally wouldn't, because it just looks cool or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how much I did that on my list though.
Yeah.
Well,
Like my list is a mix of a lot of different, like some of my favorite bands are on it, and just some recent buys are on there. So it should be fun. Should be fun to go through.
I think the thing about these lists is, regardless of the albums that each of us have picked, or if any duplicates even show up, which I doubt, every album's going to have a story. And that's what's going to be fun about this show.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So get ready.
One other thing that's going to be fun about this show, and also another reason why we wanted to do this particular theme, is that we have a special guest tonight.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Jim Dead, all the way from Scotland. For him, it's midnight.
Ah, hey.
For him, it's
insane.
midnight.
That's insane.
I know.
I'd be in bed for 4 hours already.
But this guy, yeah, me too. This guy right here is an extremely talented singer, songwriter, musician. And I thought it might be nice before we dive into the list to just chat with him a bit about what makes him tick and all that other good stuff. So what do you say? We start the show, run the theme song, and say hi to Jim.
Sounds good.
Okay,
Good.
let's rock.
Give her.
LeBrain Train. LeBrain Train. Everybody get on board, see what LeBrain is starting for. Guaranteed 2,000 words or more. LeBrain Train. LeBrain Train. If rock and roll is what you crave, it's guaranteed to make your day. Stick around and what they've got to say. The brain train. The brain train. Yes, unless you never know, so just sit back and enjoy the show. This train goes everywhere you want to go. The brain train. The brain train.
Give me a one-way ticket to anywhere and a glazed donut. To go.
The brain train. The brain train. All aboard.
Yo.
Hey,
Hey,
He's dead.
coffee already.
you are up past your bedtime, young man.
I know. Shocking.
Hello.
How you guys?
Great.
Fabulous. Nice to see you.
Good.
Finally.
Aye,
Yes.
I know.
Hello.
That's what I was saying to Mike. It's like after all this time and kind of meeting
It's
people. It's good.
Fabulous.
Long overdue.
Yes.
definitely.
So you're not only you're broadcasting not only from Scotland, but from the future, because where you are, it's Saturday.
Yeah,
How is the future?
it's all right. It's quiet.
We know the world doesn't end today.
Yeah, that's good.
That's unless it's later on today.
After the show.
That's actually one
So-
of a fun memory I have of when I was in the UK for Christmas one year. I was there for New Year's, and I phoned home to wish them Happy New Year, and it was only 7:00 here. Right? You got to get your fun where you can.
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
So how would you like us to address you tonight? Is it Jim or Jay, or what shall we call you for this evening?
Whatever you're comfortable with, man.
I'll probably call you Jim and Jay.
Jim and Jay. Yeah.
Hey, you.
We've been listening, or at least I've been listening to this one quite a bit.
All right.
A couple of times. Played this one a couple of times.
Upstairs.
I got that one.
So
Played
scared.
that one.
I didn't think to bring them.
No, I could rush up.
I forget it's show and tell on this show all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's always show and tell. It's always show and tell.
I think,
But,
I think you've got CDs I don't even have, Mike.
Oh,
I don't even have. I don't think I have. Go tell the congregation at all.
Oh my goodness.
go tell the congregation.
This one came with a button.
Wow.
This one has a button in it.
Oh, that a button.
Yeah.
That's just
I don't
it's
have
so
to go-
bizarre. It's so bizarre that like the buttons there and the CD wasn't there, and
Right.
Hello?
Like I have your most recent Jim Dead release, I guess, 10 Fires. I
Yeah.
have the cover and I have the music on my computer, but I'm missing the actual CD.
it's so bizarre.
Oh, I got the CD. But I
But
don't
mine's-
have Go Tell the Congregation on CD. I didn't know that was a CD.
Yeah, neither did I. Neither until Mike was showing it off like the other week. I was like,
Uh-oh.
sure.
Time to hit up Discogs.
Right, right. I've been
I
enjoying
know.
your music a lot this week, so I
Oh, yeah,
thought
That's
maybe
good.
before we start the show, like before we start the list portion of the show, we could just chat with you a little bit about music. Like, I would describe your music as sort of like a hybrid between rock, blues, and country. I'm just curious how that resonates with you, if I'm on the mark, or
I think that's probably fair. It's kind of, I mean, the kind of bluesy elements of it, I think, came in when I done 10 Fires, mostly because Craig Hughes, really, he, I guess in some ways he kind of came in and saved 10 Fires, because I mean the long story about that is that I had a band called the Doubters,
Yeah.
way back, and then that just kind of fell apart in a really bizarre way.
Oh.
And then 10 Fires kind of was a band type. I had it conceived as a band album, and then it became a stripped back thing. And then Craig Hughes, who had been playing some gigs, he did a night called That Devil Music. He put it on monthly. And when I was chatting to him about music and stuff, and I said to him, would you be interested in, playing guitar and stuff on it? And he was like, aye, cool. So, and then when we were doing that, started chatting about it, and he was like, if you record it with Tommy Duffin, maybe a good chance you could get a band. So the band on 10 Fires wasn't the band, but they became the band. We had one rehearsal, which was the night before we went in to record, and it was pretty shambolic. There's a recording of that somewhere that I've been thinking about putting up in Bandcamp for these Bandcamp Fridays. But it's quite bad. I don't know how 10 Fires turned out the way it did, but
it's great.
I love
I was talking to you. I was talking to you yesterday about that song, "Mean-Eyed River Snake." Oh my God, that's an intense song, man.
I mean, I don't even know how that ended up the way it did. It was just like, I mean, Craig and Tommy were just brilliant. They were kind of like, you know, we started jamming stuff, and I was like, oh, you know, it'd be good if this happened, and they were like, just do it, you know, just go for it. So I mean, the big spiel at the end, you know, the rah, 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 that was like a guide vocal that I just threw in at the end after, you know, the kind of bit with the solo, and I started going rah, 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 and I thought, you know what, just keep it in. We kept it in and put in a thing, like just a bit of dialogue that I kind of made up on the spot, and we just went like the whole kind of, I don't know, it's like a vaudeville type thing that started happening with it, where it was just a straight up kind of country, kind of old country tune, and then it turned into this mad vaudevillian, like Tom Waits.
I was going to say Tom Waits, yeah.
Just with that big, you know, damn, you lad, this is great, man. But it didn't like that before. I mean, like I say, Craig and Tommy, they were just like, you know, you want to do it, and we just done whatever. It was good times.
Yeah,
It's
I
a long
always
time ago
liked
as well.
Sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
Bone Blue Moon as well. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that turned out really well.
Yeah. The kids know that song in the car.
It's got a big sing-along John T. chorus though, so it's.
I was kind of joking with you yesterday. I asked you like, how many mean-eyed river snakes have you seen in Scotland? But on a serious note, like where do you draw your lyrics from? Because you know stuff like that's vivid imagery, but it's not imagery that strikes me as coming from your homeland.
No,
you know, I picture the Deep South.
It's weird because like when I started doing the Jim Dead thing, I mean, it went back before Jim Dead. I think probably about 2005 or 6. I'd kind of started doing what it was called the Double Deads, and that's where a lot of the sort of, I guess, the character persona came from. Was this kind of was a duo with me and my mate, which kind of went a bit south as well. But I think I'd kind of seen it all as being, I wasn't really attached to it. So there's things I found dead interesting. Like I found like the Old West very interesting, like times before. I mean, the 10 Fires was, for me, it was this whole thing about when civilization was different and people were kind of different. There was, you know, railroads were getting built, telephone lines. I found all that just absolutely fascinating, like times of the old medicine shows and like all these carnivals and all those kind of things. So a lot of it was sort of like Jim Landstrom, for example. That's a guy basically, you know, selling stars, you know, like just a kind of carnival and medicine show, people selling snake oil and, you know, everything like that. Wooden kimono is like, as wooden kimonos, you know, it's a casket, you know, it's like, so all of these things were all just stemming from, I guess, just these old world things that I loved about, like, strangely, America is just this mad, crazy, you know, big jumbo pot of different things, different cultures and all of that. But, you know, obviously don't say that to Americans because America's America. It's when, you know, Make America Great Again is, you know, looking at all the immigrants and everything, all these mad, crazy things that were all put into a big pot, and that's what made it. And I think that's things that draw me to that history side of the Old West, and just, I don't know, simpler times, I guess, and just some.
Well, I totally get it. I mean, that's one thing I like about listening to the band. You know, a lot of their stuff takes you back to Civil War era America, and some of your stuff sounds like it's from that era too.
Yeah,
does the term Americana apply there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It's just a very fascinating kind of fascinating time and culture and stuff like that, you know.
It was very Canadian of
sorry.
Atlanta for apologizing. For
Apologize. That's usually us. Like we've apologized for Brian
Yes.
Adams multiple times at this point.
that. And Bieber.
And Beaver.
Aloha, Lana.
I
Oh, man.
wanted,
Pure court and controversy, and I've
Awesome.
only been here for like.
that's okay. I wanted you to tell the story though that you told me last week about why you buy vinyl, like that entire journey there. Because I was talking to Kevin about this earlier today, and like everybody has their reasons for buying vinyl. Kevin
Yep.
thinks it's superior, but we won't get into
Oh,
that.
I'm just teasing you, man.
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
think
Oh, look, we have another
think
Scotsman here. This is my friend Brian, who's actually from Scotland as well. So this is a long time coming. He's been waiting to see you for a while. You have a great story about why you buy vinyl, because it wasn't always.
Feel pressure now. Feel like,
Yeah,
so better be good.
So James, you tell that story and you tell it good.
Dance monkey.
it's like, oh man. I mean, I don't know if it's a particularly great story, so I'll
thought it
throw
was
that out there
great.
now.
I blew it up too much. I've made
Maybe.
a big deal of it.
It's not because it, price and stuff. Anyway, I got into vinyl basically because I just lost touch with music. I was buying so much of it that I wasn't listening to it. Like thousands of CDs that were still in shrink wrap. I was looking at shelves and going, Mike, you need to open some of them.
There's a lot of sealed ones there, man. A lot of sealed ones.
It's just one of those really weird things, it just became, I was buying it, but I wasn't consuming it.
Yeah,
I
get it.
Even bands that I really, really loved, I was like buying, listen to it once, and then it was back on the shelf.
Yep.
Because there was just so much there.
Yep.
So I didn't probably listen to music like properly for a good while. And then my brother, he bought records. And whenever I was round at his, I'd be like, put a record on or whatever. And then I found myself going, this is the first time I've actually properly, I was round at somebody's house, they're putting on music, and I was sitting there going, I'm just listening to this. I don't care what you're actually saying to me. I'm just sitting here. And I was doing the things that you used to do where, you would scan the credits, or you would look at all the thank yous, and you would just sit and you would look at the artwork and go, man, that's actually pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
So I was doing all that. And then I thought, you know what? So I sold like all my CDs. Most of them, I think I've got about 20 left, maybe 25.
Wow.
Sold them all. And then I just started buying records that I really wanted.
Eric, hard time with that news.
You all right?
Oh, sorry,
It'll be okay.
I had a minor heart attack at the thought.
Take an aspirin.
Oh, anybody got a brown paper bag I can breathe into?
It's so
Give
good,
this
man.
guy the Academy Award right here.
I think I probably about 5 of the CDs that I've still got you sent me.
Oh, there you go. Sure.
There you go. So
Oh,
you
I'm
started
honored.
Yeah.
putting CDs back into my collection. The other 20 of them are Jim Dead CDs that I just couldn't hawk. So
Brian agrees that you can admire the artwork on a CD cover as you do with a vinyl record. And the truth is, I was reading some liner notes the other day on vinyl, and it did take me back to that time when you would just immerse yourself in the record and ignore the people around you. But I also noticed one other thing. It's easier on the eyes. If I'm reading one of these things, like those really deluxe editions with pages and pages of notes, it's like,
Oh yeah.
But on a vinyl, no
old,
problem.
Mike.
Yeah, I know. But hey,
That's why I got one of these.
yeah.
With the light. That's my old man.
Oh,
I can't go get bifocals yet, so this has been getting me through the pandemic.
I was gonna say, like, we're from the era of cassettes,
yes.
and cassettes were far inferior. I mean, even what they put in them and what we got as releases in Canada, like often what you would get is just the tiniest of pictures at the top with the track listing right on the cover. That was it. You open it up, and all you had was the cassette. So when you bought the vinyl, it was like, wow. Or you had a friend that had the same, but on vinyl, it was like, oh my goodness, like lyrics, liner notes, everything.
Yes.
Something else about all of this.
Oh my God! Sometimes I regret putting the comments. Sarah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sexism!
Yay!
One of the other nice things about the LPs as well that takes me back to the cassettes, and I know we've talked about this before as well, is that you listen to the whole album.
Right.
Yeah. There were no deep cuts because rewinding a cassette was a pain in the ass.
100%.
So you just let it play, right? Like to try to cue it up to the song you wanted or whatever. So you just let it go. And with a vinyl, you'll do the same thing, right? You'll just drop the needle, walk away, and do your thing.
Right. I don't want to
with
cue
the
songs.
CD or with digital, you can just go boop, 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 and find what you want. And there's no feel to it anymore. And you're missing a lot of songs.
Right.
The number of albums that were... and the number of albums that were made as a concept, or they put them in that track order for a reason, it all made sense together. If you were missing those tracks, then you're not getting the whole story.
100%.
The track list is a good point. We're doing the let's throw a plug for our Tragically Hip.
Tragically Hip. Yeah, you guys
just
your favorites, I think.
What's that? Sorry.
You just got up to your favorites. I think.
We did your favorites, and now World Container is coming on Sunday.
Nice.
But your point about the track list, I've listened to up to here, I don't know how many times, like just over and over again on CD, and we put the vinyl on for the review, and flip it over to side 2, and Boots and Hearts open side 2.
Yep.
And I'm like, I've always wondered why that song was kind of buried in the middle of that album. But when you listen to it on vinyl, you realize that's the opener for side 2. That's why that song is there. It's that kind. It's those little things that I think you miss. When you're just listening to it on digital or whatever. And it might not be that important to people, but it's important to a nerd like me.
I think we're all nerds here, Kevin. It's okay.
I'd actually went back and all the albums I'd ripped onto like the computer and stuff. There's some of them, the track listing's different than the record.
Yes.
Yep.
So I've changed it all to the record track listing.
Yeah.
So all the digital copies, I've just changed the numbers. It's like Burning Tree. Rock Candy had done a reissue a couple of years back, and it's different for the vinyl, and it just sounds really strange. Like you listen to something and you go, oh, I must have fell asleep during the song or something because I've missed it. It's just really weird, and the good thing is you get to know like an album. Like one of the ones I'm going to talk about is like probably one of my all-time favorite albums, and when I got the LP, I was like, it sounds different. It was like getting to know it all over again. It was amazing.
That's a good question. They're kind of out of left field. If anybody knows where Rush's Farewell to King's photograph was taken, let us know.
Moving Pictures was taken, right?
I can't remember.
Moving Pictures? That was the Ontario legislature.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
Well, that was a detour. So, ladies and gentlemen, do you have any further questions for Jim, or do you guys want to dive into some lists?
I do have questions, but they all involve Steven Seagal and the odd obsession. But the show's going to be long enough. So
Tell you what. Let's get to Steven Seagal after the list, because that's a good point. I forgot about that, actually. That is a good point. This guy here loves Steven Seagal. Or loved. All right. Let's.
There you go. Show and tell. There you go. What is going on? Do you want it? I'll send it to you.
I've got them all. I've literally got them all.
You kept those. You got rid of the CDs, but you kept those.
I did.
All right, guys. Let's rock some lists.
Nigel, Tufnel. The top 10. Nigel, Tufnel. The top 10. Tufnel. Oh, these ones go up to 11. Tufnel. The top 10. Nigel, Tufnel.
Is she singing along?
You hear me singing?
The whole thing?
No, everybody was muted. I didn't hear
She had
it.
the whole thing, but she's
I
got
don't
it
hear
all
it.
memorized already.
Well, to be fair, there's only a few lyrics.
Yeah.
What's that?
Am I keeping a list tonight too?
I would love if you kept a list because our friend here in England, he loves to have the list to refer to after the fact.
Okay.
So typically we start with me and go clockwise. So Jay, we will be ending with you on each round if that's okay with you. Perfect.
Excellent.
So me going first. Why not start by breaking the rules?
There's no rules.
Sure.
No disqualification.
There better not have been rules because
Well, I mean, we have guidelines. I think it's safe to say, it's something that we've bought without knowing very much about it. I think that's a fairly safe guideline.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
That's really the only. I mean, that's the spirit of the list.
So the first rule that I'm going to break is that I didn't buy this.
okay.
But I think when you're a kid and Christmas rolls around and you only have so many things you can ask for Christmas, you're kind of spending your gifts.
So you asked for this.
I asked for this.
Yeah,
I saw it in the
that's
catalog.
legit.
I think it was A&A Records ad in the newspaper. And it was Yngwie J. Malmsteen's trilogy. And I knew very little about Yngwie. I'd only heard 2 of his songs maybe at that point. And neither of them are on here. So this does count as a blind buy. This is a totally different lead singer even than the 2 songs that I'd heard prior. My grandmother gave me this, if I recall, because I remember listening to it at my grandmother's house. So I think my grandmother gave this to me with the 3-headed dragon and the guy, blasting it with a guitar. This is your Euro metal, neoclassical. And I didn't care for it. I didn't know any of the songs. I didn't care for it. But over the years, it's grown on me. And I'd say, maybe it's a solid 3.5 out of 10. Out of 5, sorry. Out of 5. Sorry.
You're really scraping the bottom.
Really scraping the bottom. This is obviously not my original copy, though. I got a cassette back then. That was I think it was Christmas of '86. So my first
3 albums? Because it's called
No.
Okay.
No, it's his 3rd album.
Oh, okay.
It's his 3rd album, and I believe 2nd lead vocalist. The original was a guy named Jeff Scott Soto, and I didn't know that this was not the original vocalist when I got it, but it's a guy named Mark Bowles, Boals, Mark Bowles. That is my the number 11. I'm getting a little bit echo. Is that bothering anybody?
I'm not hearing it.
I hear it, but it's not bad.
Okay, then we're not going to worry about it. Oh, hey, Kevin, how you doing? Kevin is he runs the Coney Hatch 4 page on Facebook.
Cool.
Oh,
and he's very interested in tomorrow's show when Andy Curran comes back.
No kidding.
Anyway, sorry, I've gabbed enough. Malmsteen trilogy number 11, and over to you, my friend Aaron.
Okay. I might break the rules on the first one too. So we may as well get this out of the way.
Let's do it.
Our friend, okay, so my lovely wife's friend, who is now my friend as well, her friend Ella from Toronto is from the former Yugoslavia, Serbia, Bosnia area. And she was going home. And so I said, hey, grab me an album of whatever's popular over there and bring it back.
Well, that's blind.
That is blind, right? And she did. And so I'm going to butcher their name because I do not speak this. This is Pekinska Patka, I think it is.
Looks right. Pekinska Patka.
Yeah. And it
looks like Reservoir Dogs.
Yes. Now this is a CDR.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes. And it's a laser printed booklet that they made at home probably.
HP printer, here we come.
Yeah. But this, okay, I had to look them up. This is, I'm going to read this. An eminent Serbian and former Yugoslavian punk band from Novi Sad, Their debut album was released in 1980, considered the first punk rock album by a band coming from Serbia. Being one of the first punk acts in Yugoslavia, they played a major role in opening the doors for many bands that came after. Their second and final album, it's a punk band, of course, they only made 2 records, was released in 1981. They turned towards post-punk and dark wave, disbanding during the same year. They did reunite in 2008 to play a festival with the Sex Pistols. And in 2010, they reunited once again, and it says they're continuing their activity. So this is a compilation, and it's got tracks from both albums and a single that they put out. So there's 26 songs on here.
Greatest hits.
A whole lot of it not in English, but it sounds really good. I like it. It's that old school punk kind of sound from the late 70s, early 80s, and it's, I dig it. It's cool.
Cool.
So that's what she brought back for me from wherever she went.
Okay, so we're going to say the name one more time to get it in my brain.
Pakinska
Patka.
Yes.
Pakinska Patka. There
and
we
if
go.
you look it up on Discogs, they're not allowed to sell it because it's a CDR.
It's a CDR.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
So Aaron, that's legit a number 11 blind buy for you.
I just said, bring me back a CD. So that's about as blind as it gets, especially coming from another country.
But I mean, what I'm trying to say, is that your 11th favorite blind buy for real?
I just picked a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
He never has a list.
I should say, okay. I have a whole thing with this because you were trying to tell me I'm legendary at doing this or whatever, but this really goes back to your old store. And that bin that was by the front door where the CDs were like $2, $3, $5, whatever they were. And when we moved to Montreal in 1999, I found a CD store on St. Catherine Street further east, and they had a whole bin by the front door, and all the CDs were $1 or $2. And so I cleaned up out of there. And so that just sort of became my norm, where I would rather go through those bins than, I would look at the other stuff as well, but I would go to those bins first with my disposable cash. So, and I still do it here. So I didn't actually choose things that are like my all-time favorites. I just chose things that I thought were different or weird or fun. Because I thought the spirit of it was on spec purchases, and these really feel like on spec purchases, whether they're favorites or not. I don't.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified that. Yeah. And I guess the reason I asked that question is because I'll clarify as well. I did put these in order from least favorite to favorite.
Mike, you've had me on here before. I don't do that.
No, but I'm curious about the arrangements. I want to know everybody's story.
Okay, yeah. So I just picked some cool stuff because, like you said, half of my collection is stuff I bought. Saying, I'll try that.
Okay, so we're all doing blind buys, and Aaron is doing cool stuff in his collection.
No,
pretty cool.
They were
That's cool.
They're still blind.
No, Kevin. They were on spec purchases. They're stuff that
I know.
So I think it still fits.
It's all good.
Okay, well, anyway, let's move on to presto. It's time for Sarah.
Okay, so grade 9.
Yeah, this is you in grade 9.
This is me in grade 9.
Nice.
You were listening to Avril Lavigne?
No, I was listening to Erasure.
Erasure.
Yeah, and I bought this at A&A Records. Remember A&A Records?
Oh yeah.
It's a little bin at the front, basically, and it's Yaz, but I think in Britain it's called Yazoo. Yazoo.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I know that's a great album.
This one is upstairs at Eric's.
Yes, that's a legendary album.
Yes,
and I didn't know what it was, but I liked the cover. I thought it was interesting, and I heard that Vince Clarke. There was sort of a thing there. So I was like, okay, well, let's take a chance on it. And I freaking I love this album.
Yes.
I listened to it like the whole winter semester. I was like, it was on cassette. Okay. It wasn't this. It was on cassette because that's all we had. And listened to it in my Walkman constantly. Don't Go, Situation, Goodbye 70s. I mean, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, yes. It was a
And
blind buy.
Great one.
Since
Complete.
upgraded to CD, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have the cassettes anymore.
Don't you have that on vinyl?
This?
Yeah,
I don't think
I
so.
thought it was in there. Right.
Kevin.
Well, my list is more like Mike's, where I did them in order of favorites and that. And so some of the bands on my list are my favorite bands of all time, and some of them are just recency bias, I guess, like stuff I found recent within the last few months.
So you're saying that some of your favorite bands today were once upon a time a blind buy?
Yes.
Wow.
I am that
That's cool.
old where I, lived in the day pre-internet where you would, if you wanted to hear music, you actually had to go and buy it because they weren't playing it like the stuff you wanted. They weren't playing it on the radio. My VCR only went up to channel 26. And Much Music was on channel 27. It was a dark time. It was a dark period.
Sudbury, living in Sudbury, Ontario, and trying to buy music was
Yeah, you had to have friends.
was
You had to have
awful.
friends. It was like
Really?
like trading and stuff like that. You had to have friends, so like a network, in order to listen to music
Yep.
for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this isn't one of those. We're starting at something I bought recently. Within the last few months, I actually saw this artist perform live in concert. He was opening for B.B. King. He actually wrote a few songs for B.B. King, but that was back in 2004, and I completely forgot all about him. And then we were out, when there was a lull in the lockdowns, and I actually found one of his albums at the Mission Thrift for $2. This is John Hyatt.
Oh yeah.
Walk On. And I got this home, and it was one of the first albums I put on, and I loved it from beginning to end. Even Aaron,
But I blow up Baron right there.
Why
feel
not?
free to jump in. So I enjoyed it so much that when we went back to the Mission Thrift the next week, I found another John Hyatt album. I'm like, damn,
Nice.
good time.
Perfectly good guitar, right?
Yep. So
Yeah.
this one isn't as good as this one. I like this one a lot more, but they're still great. And he's becoming one of my favorite artists. So I'm looking for more.
He writes great songs. He writes for all kinds of people.
That's
Bonnie Raitt for one, and
I got the impression that he was more of a songwriter than an artist, like a performer, But he's good on his own. He's got like a good band and good voice and all that. So
oh yeah,
If you can
That's my
find
number
it,
11.
I think he did an album with Lyle Lovett. I think.
Okay.
possibly.
Or I've seen them together anyway, and it sounded really good. You really can't go wrong with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was great, like for that BB King show. Like he had stories about all the songs and all that stuff, and he even performed. One of the songs he wrote was "Riding with the King," and he was like, "I don't know if I should perform this because BB might perform it later, but what the heck, I wrote it." So and he just went right into the song. It was good. It's good times.
Yeah.
Would you like to address Eric?
Well, I did. Yeah. It is. I mean, I saw him like it was, about almost 15 years between seeing him, and I forgot about him. It's not like as if I knew what he sounded like and all that. Like I had like a vague imagery of him, like he was there, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you didn't
I don't know,
bootleg the show on your phone and watch it every
No,
night.
like I didn't like have. It wasn't like fresh. It wasn't like I saw him live and then I went and bought the album the next day. Although one of them is on my list, but I think that's a blind buy because sometimes, you see somebody live or whatever, and then you get the album later and like, man, this was crap. That's happened to me before, where it's like, hey, these guys were awesome live, and then you get the album, it's garbage.
Okay.
Look at Lady Gaga. She was on Howard Stern. It's just her and a piano. She performed the song about her grandfather. And I'm listening to this thing. I'm near tears. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm gonna go find the song, like find this album.
Yeah.
And I look at the album. I put it in, and the song was like, it sounded like someone was opening and closing a door during it. I'm like, what is this? This is crap. So I've been burned on those buys too. So I think it's legit. There you go.
I'm going to appoint Eric Littler the official referee tonight, based on his comments.
Oh, we're all screwed.
Yeah, that's it. This top,
All right, Jay,
top 2 list.
it's you now. It's your first Your very first entry ever.
Yeah, this is quite exciting. I kind of cheated a wee bit on some. This one I didn't really cheat. I know I'm picking like my number 11 blind buy.
Yeah.
And I've done it, the same way that Kevin had said. This is stuff that's genuinely favourites. If I'm reaching for an album, I'll reach for it. So my number 11 is Joe Walsh.
Oh, nice.
I didn't know much about Joe Walsh. I knew his name and I knew he was in the Eagles. But aside from that, I hadn't heard anything by Joe Walsh, or certainly know anything that I was aware of. And then I watched that Sonic Highways thing.
Right,
the
with Dave Grohl.
Yeah. And there was a song, there was loads of kind of chat obviously in it, and Joe Walsh was chatting. I was like, I kind of like this guy. I like to cut his jib. And then he got to play on a Foo Fighters song. Now you know I'm not a big Foo Fighters fan, like,
right.
But I like the Taylor Hawkins guy, and he was just sitting there going, "Oh man, Joe Walsh is playing on a song." He was super excited. They had Joe Walsh playing the guitar, and this was, what was that, 2014 or 15? That must have been about then. So anyway, I wouldn't even have thought to have bought a Joe Walsh album, because I would have just went, yeah, guy was in the Eagles, and he is awesome. He's I was like, right, okay. So then I was just doing crate digging, and I found But Seriously Folks, and I thought, okay, I'll just take a shot on it. And plus, I mean, the album, the artwork's great, like Underwater.
Yeah. Yeah, always loved that.
Crazy Awesome, Gatefold.
Oh, I never saw it like that before.
Look at this. I mean,
we got to do a close up here.
So I need vinyl.
Yeah. You know what, Kevin? That's a totally valid reason.
There you go.
That is wicked. That is wicked.
That's the reason I bought it, because I was like, that just sums it up. Anyway, I took it home, dropped a needle on it, and I was sitting there going, "This is the business." Absolutely brilliant. Joe Walsh, man, it's the way he plays and the way he doesn't play. It's just absolutely incredible. So even that really crappy Foo Fighters song that he added some guitar on, I was sitting there going, "That's some really good guitar." It's just like hangs, and I mean, makes a really rubbishy Foo Fighters song a good Foo Fighters song, I guess. Good Joe Walsh.
I hate the Eagles, but I love Joe Walsh. Like,
it's just so weird. I mean, what's it all about? Why was he an Eagle, man? Like, I
don't know.
Obviously,
he was later Eagles, though. Time. I mean, he wasn't there in the first 3 or so albums.
Yeah, he was like a bit of a hired gun for a while. Right?
Yeah, because he was with the James Gang.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that, Jay?
I was just saying, I think it was like Hotel California.
I believe you were correct.
Or did they play Life in the Fast Lane?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like,
I believe you are correct. Yeah.
But anyway, that's my number 11. So I reached for that album.
Beautiful.
Whenever.
What a hell of a first round. And also, Kevin, you've got some support here from Eric, the legendary Paul McLeod, fantastic local musician. Used to listen to that Gaga performance on Stern on repeat. He had it taped.
Yeah, it was, man. She was just so powerful, and she told the story about her grandfather. She built up to it, and it was like, wow. And then
hell of a first round, guys.
Then you listen to the album, and it's freaking car door slamming. Edge of Glory. That was the name of the song. Look it up. It's awful.
I will look up the Stern version.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 2, or I guess number 10, is my original copy from 1990. There used to be a magazine in Canada called Meat, which has nothing to do with Eric Litwiller, but you've seen me talk about Meat magazine all the time.
Sure.
It's run by a Toronto guy named Drew Masters, and I picked up my first issue of Meat magazine, which was free, at Sam the Record Man, downtown Kitchener, March break 1990. And guy working there was a guy named Al King, who now works at Encore Records. So this is a very small world. And inside that magazine was an interview with Bruce Dickinson about the upcoming Tattooed Millionaire solo album and stuff like that. But there was an ad for a band called Slash Puppet. And it's not the greatest name for a band necessarily. But there's a full page ad. And it's like, the next big thing. And I was like, man, this is the next big thing. I have the chance to get something rare right from the ground level. Like, let's order this. So I ordered it. And I like it. I still like it.
Well, that's good.
The lead singer is a guy named Anthony Mifsud, who's a friend on Facebook. Just like Drew Masters from Meat Magazine is a friend on Facebook. It's crazy how this works. But he's actually today more of an actor than he is a singer. If you look at his credits, he's got 1 million IMDb credits, different Netflix series. But the thing that I will always remember him most for is a little movie called Dirty Work starring Norm Macdonald. Anybody here seen Dirty Work?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're familiar with the scene where they are planting the fish in the mobster's house?
Yeah.
And then there's the guy who goes, smells like fish in here. And then there's a bald guy. There's a bald mobster. Well, that is Anthony Mifsud from the band Slash Puppet.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it have anything to do with Slash? Because the guy's
nothing. I know. It seems they changed their logo and everything later on. They had a much cooler logo and dropped this kind of character. But it is kind of confusing. Eric is confused. But strangely enough, an Australian record label put this out on CD about 10 years ago. And retitled it No Strings Attached. And so now I have this on CD, and it's fantastic. And also, Anthony is working on a Slash Puppet unreleased tracks / greatest hits release that will be hopefully coming out this year. So that is my number 10, Slash Puppet. It is just called The Demo.
The Demo.
Yeah.
Cool.
Over to you, pal.
I was just picturing somebody with it like a Slash puppet going, no, Axel, I don't think that's what we should do.
Slash's puppet.
Yeah. So, you want my next one?
I do. I demand it, in fact.
Oh, goodness. This is actually an on-spec purchase.
Okay.
As I said, we were living in Montreal 99 to 2001. And I found a shop on Metcalfe that was up this really rickety, dangerous staircase, but it was awesome. And they had another one of those bins by the door where everything was cheap. And I actually really like this album. And I'm kind of afraid that Jay's heard of this guy and it's going to go, oh God, why are you listening to that? But I really like this album. I thought he was kind of like a David Gray meets Bob Dylan from Ireland mashup. His name is Paddy Casey.
Why you say that guy?
And this was it was like a $2 bin. The song that was big was called Whatever Gets You True. And I really liked it. It's that sort of singer-songwriter-y kind of thing. And he's got a great voice and the songs are smart. And, but I had never heard of him before I bought it. So I have since bought his other albums that I could find. It wasn't real big over here, I don't think. I think he was bigger at home. But yeah, so now my number, whatever we're on, is Paddy Casey. Amen, so be it.
I've never heard him, just for...
Okay,
just for
okay, good. Okay, good.
Everybody say hi to Max the Axe, who's watching
Max.
now.
Nope.
Sarah.
Yes.
Let's hear your number 10. Number 10.
So back in the day, Much Music, you know how they had those bumpers that had the big M on it that said Much Music, and they'd play music in the background. Well, there was this one song that was instrumental, and it just had a really cool beat to it that sounded very hip-hop-ish to me. I don't know why. I even asked my hip-hop fan friend, have you ever heard of this song? Like, and back then we didn't have, Shazam or anything like that.
You can't Google.
You can't, like what song is this? No, and you'd never hear it on much music at all. Coincidentally, I was at the record store. I think it might have been A&A again, or Records on Wheels, or one of those places in Sudbury, and I bought the Stone Roses.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Is that a reissue, Sarah? It has a clear spine.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
I don't have my original CD anymore. I don't know. Like, I went through this whole thing where I just got rid of a lot of stuff, and I got sick of this CD. But on it has Fool's Gold, which is the song
That's the
that
one.
was used in the bumper.
That's
And I'm like,
oh,
I was like, what the? And like, she bangs the drums. I really like that. Like, as the track listing's going down, I'm like, I love every song from this. And Fool's Gold starts playing. I'm like, that's the song. How what universe? So it was, serendipitous, I guess. And that's my story. That was like, I was in high school. A lot of this, now that I look at it, my list is from high school, because a lot of it was you're going in blind, buying stuff on sale because you can't afford the full price, $18 for a CD or whatever it was. So
I'm not surprised to look at my list and see that none of it's from high school, because I really bought like according to Much Music back then.
Wow.
If a video came out in Much Music, I would decide whether I'm buying it. I had this discussion with Harrison not that long ago. Is Fool's Gold and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels? I think he's asking.
Oh, I have no idea.
No, I don't know. I've only seen the movie
know.
like once. Cool pick, Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Kevin.
Okay, get ready, meat. You're gonna get triggered because I saw this this artist open up for what was it? It was the Raconteurs.
Oh,
Love them.
Yes.
Yes. Well, it's not, but Raconteurs. Like, I should mention too. We stayed away from Sarah and I talked about it. We stayed away from side projects, like, because there are a lot of side projects that I've blind bought. Like, I just like, oh, so and so is in this band, I'm just gonna grab their thing. But you kind of know what you're going to get unless it's a really avant-garde, side project or something. But anyways, saw this artist open up for this band. Never heard of her before, but I waited for the album. I put it on my wish list on Amazon, and finally went on sale. I don't know, a few months after we saw the show. But this is Olivia Jean.
Yep.
And this is the album Night Owl.
Love the cover.
Oh, she was excellent.
And it kind of has like this cool surf rock vibe, garage rock kind of thing. She does a version of have you ever seen the movie, if you remember the movie Ghost World, Enid is like shaking her head at the beginning of the movie to like this Bollywood kind of, it's like the 60s guitar thing. She does a cover of that song here. So I liked it so much that I put her other album on my wish list when I got that too.
Nice.
There you go. So I've become a big fan of her from those. So
that's cool, Kevin.
Very cool.
It was an excellent show. Excellent.
Oh yeah, the Raconteurs were
so good.
Raconteurs
so
is a
good.
band. See, again, there's another band where you listen to their albums and they sound like an average, not average sounding band, but just average in decibel levels. They don't sound like they're going to be like a really big rocking band, but oh my God, they just blew the roof off that place, man. They were like, Jack White had his guitar cranked and they were all trying to keep up with him.
It was
And
so good.
that was
So
awesome. But
good.
this isn't about the Raconteurs.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Olivia Jean was excellent. An excellent opener.
Yeah.
Question, Kevin.
Yeah.
Are those Olivia Jean albums on Third Man Records? Is she
Yes.
part of his thing? Yeah.
Yes.
His
Okay.
stable.
Yeah.
His stable of talent.
We've been to Third Man Records in Detroit, and it's something else.
It is something.
You can actually look into the printing press and everything, and they actually have a guy that stands there, and he'll listen to like every not every album that they press,
Like a
they'll
sampling
do,
of.
they'll do a pressing, and he's sitting there with the headphones on, listening to one of the albums from the pressing to make sure that the pressing is okay and
He's QA
standards.
He's the QA guy.
I want that
it
job,
was
Jack.
awesome.
If you're watching, Jack, I want that job.
Well, I imagine you're listening to the same albums over and over again, but you kind of do that anyway. So
You can listen to different songs. You don't have to listen to the same spot.
Well, I think he was actually listening to the whole thing.
Not
Oh.
finished.
Well, they're all
Like,
good.
They were going like crazy Q&A. Like I work in TV where our Q&A is like, yeah, you can see it and hear it. There you go. It's good. This guy was like doing some actual Q&A.
Okay. Cool. I guess the downside is you'd have to live in Detroit.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to visit.
Well,
Yes, it is. Very nice
depending
place.
on where you go.
We did find some corners, but just stay on target.
Here's me thinking I was controversy like at the beginning.
No, I've been to Detroit a couple of times, and that's enough.
What is it? I-75. You cross the border at the Ambassador Bridge, and if you take a wrong turn,
yeah.
my goodness, we did that once, and we were sweating. I was a little kid. My parents were sweating, but
I went to the University of Windsor, and we used to go over sometimes and because Detroit's right there on the other side of the river, right? Like it's not far.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Mr. J.
Yeah.
Let's hear your number 10.
Number 10.
Number
Okay.
10.
I bought this one at a record fair. I bought it in CD, so I don't have the CD anymore.
Okay.
It's part of my cull, but I was really taking. I mean, the way I've done this as well is it's stuff that I bought without knowing much about it, and also stuff that I bought because the cover
Cool.
grabbed me. So this is one of my absolute favorite albums like ever.
Oh.
Try to get my bearings here. So this is Jesse Sykes, and this album. When I seen this in the record fair, it was just the really bizarre,
It's a nice picture.
and then the rabbits. I was like, that's
What's the style of music? What type of music?
it's probably you would say it's kind of country Americana, but it's got nice wee psychedelic flourishes. Nice rabbits in the back.
And how old is this album?
So this is from 2007, I think.
It looks very retro.
Yeah,
That's what
throwback.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
Like a Joni Mitchell album or something.
It looked like I thought when he first flashed on the screen, I thought it was a vintage something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love the cover.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued immediately.
Yeah, and that's why I bought it. I mean, even it's the gatefold of the album.
Whoa! Yeah.
So, but I mean,
the one guy on the end though looks a little pissed, like he doesn't really want to be there.
I think
like everyone else looks cool, but he's like, it's cold. We shouldn't.
The guy in the hat?
Yeah.
Is that the guy you're talking about?
Yeah, like we
That
shouldn't
guy.
be doing this right now.
Right.
Some sort of anarchy's on. I want to go watch
Maybe he
that.
And the
sat
guy-
in the wet spot.
The guy next to him looks exactly like Noel Gallagher.
Yeah.
don't say things like that, Mike. I like this wee guy here, like it's hidden.
Oh yeah, he's kind of buried, isn't he?
He's kind of just hidden, but I don't know what this guy his crack is. He's obviously like
he's not even in band. He was just sitting there.
He's just sitting. Like, what are you doing in my spot? Can't you guys find another bush?
Yeah, this guy looks a bit suspect as well.
Yeah, all behind those the grass.
Oh, Brian, the Bop is complaining of some echo.
Yeah,
I don't hear anything.
It might be us because we don't have any headphones on.
Well then, Bob, you talk to Kevin and Sarah.
I don't know, maybe I could try turning it down, or I don't know.
It's not obtrusive as far as I can tell. If it is, we'll just have to make do. I'm going to go next with my number 9, if that's okay with everyone else.
Sure.
That's a
All
good
right. Aaron, you're going to like this.
How could I not?
This is up your alley. I wanted to try some Miles Davis based on Reputation.
Yeah.
So this came into the store one day. Miles Davis tribute to Jack Johnson. Never heard a note. All I knew about Miles Davis is that's it. Okay. Otherwise, I am blind. And this is a rock jazz hybrid. It's a fusion. It's a fusion album. You like my?
That was a great impersonation. In fact, I don't know why Miles had a career. It should have been you, Mike. It should have been you.
I have something I wanted to share after you're done there, Mike. So go on.
Okay. Anyway, this came into the store. It was a beautiful deluxe edition with that really tiny writing that gives me the headaches. But you know, I love these kind of the Sony. What was this called? I think Masterpiece series.
Yeah.
But anyway, these Sony reissues were good. It's the kind of thing that if they came in, you wanted to snag it, you know. And again, knew nothing about it. It's about Jack Johnson, the boxer.
Right.
And the thing I like the best about this album is the ending when the actor Brock Peters comes in. Remember Brock Peters? He played, oh God. Who did he play? Shit. Now I have to look this up. His famous role was To Kill a Mockingbird, Tom Robinson. There it is. Anyway, Brock Peters does the narration at the end, and it's just a simple line. He says, "I'm Jack Johnson, heavyweight champion of the world. I'm black. They never let me forget it. I'm black, all right. I'll never let them forget it." And I just love that. That's so powerful. So powerful. Definitely a brilliant blind buy. I'm glad that this was my introduction to Miles Davis. That was a wise purchase.
That's a good pick, man.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, there's a couple of YouTubes out there. You should look them up. Where it's just basically a guy that tapes doors closing, and they squeak to Miles. They're like door riffs on Miles Davis,
yeah.
and it like slams, or a car door riffs on Miles Davis. I kill myself with those videos because they're just so funny. And it's so Miles Davis. Like you listen, it's like it could be a trumpeter, like for sure. Absolutely.
My mom's watching. Hi, Mom. Brock Peters was in 2 of the Star Trek movies. He was in 4 and 6. And he played Darth Vader in the Star Wars radio drama from 1978.
Oh, was he the Admiral?
No, he was. Oh, yes. He was Admiral Cartwright. When at the end of Star Trek 6, when
just said Admiral Cartwright, I wouldn't known exactly who you were talking about.
Love you, man.
Going back to Kill a Mockingbird. Who can remember that?
My sister's favorite scene in Star Trek 6 is when Admiral Cartwright says, "Arrest those men," and then Spock says, "Arrest yourself. We've got a full confession." Anyway, sorry, Aaron.
Yes.
Go, man. Go, man.
Okay. This next one.
I know you froze.
This one. No, I was just listening. I was just making sure I didn't miss it. So this one.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I forgot one more thing. I'm on to my cold drink tonight. Grape Crush. Grape Crush is my drink sponsor.
Cool.
That's it.
Okay.
Worst nostrils in the business.
I don't know if that's right.
Miles? That Miles Davis? I don't know.
I think he's talking about Admiral Cartwright. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they were quite pronounced. Yeah. You know what? Actually,
I don't know if that's cool to talk about.
Well, I don't know. It's the shape of a guy's nose. I mean, mine is triangle shaped. Sorry, one more thing about Brock Peters. Not only did he play Admiral Cartwright, but if you're a Deep Space Nine fan, you know he also played Joseph Sisko, father of Captain Sisko.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, Aaron, I've stolen enough of your time.
Is that not an anomaly, or is that some sort of space-time continuum thing where he can play 2 characters in the same?
Star Trek is not notorious. It's not really a bad thing. Star Trek is notable for repeating actors in multiple roles. There's an actor named Jeffrey Combs who's played, I think, 3 or 4 different alien species. the original actor who played Spock's father, Sarek, Mark Leonard, played a Vulcan, a Klingon, and a Romulan. He's the first actor to play all three. It's wonderful how Star Trek keeps repeating some of these great, a lot of them Shakespearean stage actors too.
But is
Yeah,
there
they're
a
people that they
shortage
want to
of
work
actors?
with.
Sorry?
Is there a shortage of actors? They really have to recycle people?
No, I think it's just it's partly fan service, but also partly some of these actors are brilliant.
I
Well,
just
they
would
need a
find
job.
it. I would find it a sort of a paradox, right? Like if you know this person is that character in the universe, right? And then they turn up, oh, and now I'm the father of this person. Well, are you related to the other,
Star Trek's been around for 50 years. You're talking
I
about a
would
guy
want to
who was like
know.
in an original episode 50 years ago, and they bring him back for a different show. It's fine.
This is why sometimes I have to watch movies on my own. Because I ask questions like this.
Fair point.
Fine. I mean, you can watch a movie with a like an actor, and like Tom Hanks, he's in Castaway in one movie, and then he's in a different movie, another movie, and you
I
can.
don't know. I'm talking about within the Star
Yeah, but
Trek
imagine
universe.
if Castaway met Forrest Gump.
Yeah, but that would be the actor. That would be.
That would be. I think that's what Aaron's picturing in his mind.
Yeah,
No. What I'm picturing is that you've got a character in one of the Star Trek things.
I think we better move on. I think we better
think
get
Bob
to
is
Aaron's
right.
pick. Let's get
Yeah.
Brian's gonna.
I was interested, but now it's like
No,
there's-
no.
it's-
Okay.
Bob does have a point. This is supposed to be music.
I think it's a paradox.
A space-time continuum
Yeah,
paradox.
that's okay. That solves it because that solves everything.
Okay.
This next one, I think Jay will approve. I bought this in Toronto
Mac
with Mike.
Stevens.
Do you remember this one, Mike?
No, I don't. Max
Okay.
Stevens.
That's
This
a great film.
was in the BMV 3 for 10 bin.
Yep.
And it is savage and raw stereo, authentic Texas rockabilly from Rollin' Rock, the Las Vegas Stomp. So it's just a lot of fun. This guy he's really doing it. He's really going for it.
He's serious.
Yeah.
Like he's got
It's a
the
nice
hair
shot.
curl there and the what do they call those nudie shirts? I think.
I don't
Is that what that's
know.
called?
I have no idea. I call them cowboy shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice shot. It's a very nice shot.
Yeah, but yeah, this CD is actually a lot of fun, and this was totally on spec. I just bought it probably to fill out the 3 for 10 one time, just to because we had 2 and we needed one more. We
Did that frequently, and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
Mike, do you have this album? And it's like, yeah, but I guess I can take a second one and give it away.
You got to get the deal, right? 'Cause
Yeah, you
otherwise-
have to. It's pointless not to. If you've got, I don't know, think of a number, 11 CDs.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no point in not getting the third, the third 3 for 10. There's no point. You buy something on spec, buy a
Yeah.
gift to give away to Kevin or Sarah, for that matter. Who goes next?
That'd be me.
Sorry?
That'd be me.
Give it to him. Give it to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, but you just get rid of it if it's on CD.
Hey, I just noticed you're wearing a Jurassic Park shirt.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like dinosaurs. I didn't used to like dinosaurs. I didn't used to. I kind of
Well,
like them now.
I like everybody's shirts. Everybody. But I have a special affection for the Presto rabbit. Look, that's another rabbit tonight.
A lot of rabbits.
A lot of rabbits.
I got a rabbit
Yeah.
on.
So let's hear Sarah. We're on number 9s, right? Number 9s.
Number 9.
So I don't remember why I bought this or what on cassette. Again, we're in the high school ages here, but I bought Peter Murphy Deep.
Ooh.
I don't know how we can. Kevin's so much better at this than I am.
There we go.
Okay.
He's flexible.
That looks like it hurts.
Yes.
And Peter Murphy is the lead singer of Bauhaus.
That's
his claim to fame. I never listened to Bauhaus. And the one song on here is Cuts You Up. So I might have heard that on Much Music. I'm not sure. But the album's really good. I just really like the album.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Plus the cover.
I don't
That's
have
a
much
wild
of a story.
cover.
I know that, at the time, Pump Up the Volume, the movie, was one of my favorites, and Peter Murphy did have a song on that soundtrack that I really liked. And so it's like the credits roll. It's like, what was that song? It says Peter Murphy, and then you see Peter Murphy in the bin, and you buy, you know. But that song that was on the soundtrack isn't on here. But it's good, and I like it. I still like it today. I've found it found it used on CD. Bought it up. Here we go.
Cool.
Wow.
Bill is watching.
Kevin, I think I've never tried it before, but I can ban people, I think.
He would take that as a badge of honor, I think.
Being trolled by Bill.
He's pantless.
Although, to be fair, he's only trolling Kevin. Maybe he can come at one of us too.
Yeah.
But, there we go. There we go. Kevin, would you like to retort or just move on?
To move on from that.
Okay, so we're moving on. We're not retorting.
Okay, I have not seen this band live, so
okay,
Uncle Meat, you can
lay off.
Ready. Calm down.
Lay off.
I had only seen like part of a YouTube video, and I didn't even get the full band name or the name of the song. But I saw like this video. I'm like, oh my god, that is amazing. This what this band was doing. And I was at the record store like maybe a day or two later. I'm flipping through and I see the name that I think is the band I saw on YouTube. And this is what I saw. I saw St. Paul and the Broken Bones.
That's neat.
Which I thought was a really cool name, especially the Broken Bones for a backup band. And I like how I cover up Sarah every time I hold this up.
I was going to say it's very MC Escher looking.
Well, these guys are not anything like that, I don't think.
No, they don't look like MC Escher.
No.
Artwork.
This is a soul band. This guy, he's like a white nerdy guy like me, but he sings like friggin' Al Green. It is incredible, and they got like a horn section and everything. Wow! I just listened to it again this afternoon to confirm that. And the song I saw, it was on here. It's called "Call Me," and it's fantastic. Go look it up on YouTube. "Call Me." This album's a few years old now, but surprisingly, I haven't got any more of their stuff. But this is a terrific blind buy, and I wasn't even 100% sure if it was the right band. You know, I just kind of picked up I thought it was. They looked like it. They looked familiar on the back. So when I got it home, I was so happy to find out that it was actually the band.
So a partial YouTube video.
It was like part. It was. I don't even know how I saw it. It was like part. It wasn't even. Like I wasn't at the computer at the time. It was like somebody was watching something, and I walked by, and I'm like, "Oh, what are you looking at?" And they're like, "Oh, this is St. Paul and the Broken Bones thing." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Wow, that sounds really good," but I had to do something else. It was at work or something. And anyways, there you go.
Nice.
That's my number 9.
Wicked. All right, Jay, it's your turn to take us out of the number 9 round.
Okay. This is probably this one probably isn't a surprise. I bought this again. I bought it in CD back 2000s maybe. Spirits, 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. Again, picked up because of wonderful cover. And I didn't know anything. I hadn't heard anything. It just.
Or show us the inner sleeve there, the inner gatefold. Wow. Just keep.
So I mean, this is, I think, probably the one that people go as Mazeballs. Produced by what's his name, guy that done Neil Young's Harvest, I think.
Oh wow.
Oh, look at this! Look at that!
Yay!
I have heard of that band. Like they sound
too.
familiar.
Yeah.
70s?
Guitar player was a guy by the name of Randy California, I
Randy
believe.
California,
Yeah.
California, yeah. This is an old original one. Is yours a reissue, Jay?
This is well an original.
Oh, that's who-
Sarah,
Okay,
Sarah
I
knows.
believe.
Sarah knows.
Okay.
Did you see this comment, Jay? Did you get the joke? He gets the
Yeah,
joke.
totally 100% got that.
That's where I've heard the band
Yeah.
before. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is like proper all time awesome stuff.
Nice.
Again, it's one I just go back to all the time. Loads of good tunes on there. Loads
Wicked.
of good tunes.
Another wicked round. Holy crap. Just keep getting better. Yes, that is what
Yeah, that's the
that is
one.
the Randy California is also he filled in for Richie Blackmore one night with Deep Purple. And I understand that the Randy California performance has just finally been put out on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. It's out there
really?
somewhere. Yeah, I just read something about that. Wow, check that out. 5 or 6 years old, he was listening to Dr. Sardonicus from his dad's turntable. That's cool. That is cool. Okay, number 8. This is a wild blind buy. I was reading an article in Rolling Stone magazine. It was a box set review, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It was a box set review of something called Grows Fins by an artist by the name of Captain Beefheart.
Oh,
Oh, I've heard.
Yeah, and I knew Captain Beefheart's name from Frank Zappa. It'd always been associated. I had Frank Zappa's Strictly Commercial, the greatest hits, and he shouts out Captain Beefheart's name in one of the live songs, right? Sorry, just getting a little scratch in my throat. Anyway, this review for this box set, Grows Fins, was like, Trout Mask replica, legendary, huge influence on Matt Groening from The Simpsons. And I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? Like, what is that? What is that? Right? So one day I was at Encore Records and I was like, fuck it, I'm buying this thing. And it is weird. If you've never heard Trout Mask replica by Captain Beefheart, it is weird. It basically sounds like all musicians are playing a different composition simultaneously. And ironically, that's intentional. I think they spent like 11 months writing and arranging this album. But it is so bizarre and it sounds like chaos. It really does. Gravelly singing. I mean, we've talked about Tom Waits tonight. This kind of gravel could almost wear down Tom Waits, Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that comment. Anyway, yeah. So my number 8, Trout Mask replica, based on a review of a box set in Rolling Stone magazine. Number 8.
Is that the one, Mike, that has "I'm Gonna Booglerize You, Baby" on it?
Don't believe so. No.
Oh, okay. That's
That might be on. Well, Eric will know.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone always puts Trout Mask replica in their top 100s. Yeah, but that's because Rolling Stone magazine's trying to be hip and cool. It's not because they've actually listened to it.
Still trying after all these years.
Yeah. But I mean, I legit like this because, it reminds me of some of the weird stuff my sister plays. Like, this is very much up her alley. Anyway, that's my number 8. So, Aaron Speck, it's all up to you now.
Oh, dear. Sorry for your luck. So my next one, I bought strictly for the cover. I thought it was actually a joke, like a spoof. Okay. Turns out it's not. It's a real thing. And you probably heard of this, Mike. They are okay. Oh, I was also going to say, remember those over 60 minutes with
yes.
series? There was like, I had the
on EMI
one, and yeah. So this is one of those. So it is a real thing. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, come on, somebody made this as a joke. But they are from Windsor, Ontario, late 70s. And the way I wrote it down was a mashup of funk, 80s hair metal, blues, very cool. And this is the very best over 60 minutes with Tease.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I've seen that before. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, and it sounds like it's just got all the songs on the back, but it sounds like if you took like Motley Crue and Poison and a bunch of those late 70s sort of rock bands and put it all in a blender and made them come from Windsor, I guess.
Sounds like something Eric Litwiller would love.
Yeah, it's actually not bad. It's okay to listen to. It's definitely Mike music. That's what I thought of when I listened to it. This is Mike music.
Cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, and like I said, when you see a band that's called Tease with a Z like that, you go, yeah, okay, you know,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And the way, like with the sort of the lightning bolts, you know, whatever. Yeah,
it's a good logo for a keyring, isn't it?
Yeah,
logo for a keyring. Only if you drive a Camaro.
Yes, with dice.
With dice.
Fuzzy dice. Yeah.
Actually, that would work also if you rode a motorcycle. I don't know. Just my opinion.
Zed's dead, baby.
Zed's there you go. You knew what I was talking about. Sarah.
So
how you doing?
What number are we at? 8? I was getting into Australian bands. I was big time into In Excess. That was turned into a massive obsession for me. And Midnight Oil.
Yeah.
The Oils came out on the scene with their hit Beds Are Burning. And I invested in their Diesel and Dust.
Yeah.
And
I know Aaron's a fan. Aaron is a fan.
Oh, yes.
You have this on vinyl.
I do have that on vinyl.
Why don't I have the vinyl? I got this thing.
Because
this is a toy. Should be thrown out.
Whatever.
I have the vinyl of that over here.
Anyways, it's an incredible album.
Yes.
And sophisticated in its sound. I really love it. And still to this day, I devour it.
Yeah. And the next album is really good too.
All their albums are really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blue Sky Mine. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's excellent. Okay, Kevin.
Shit. I'm in trouble now. Jay was worried about being controversial. Now I'm the one who's in shit. You know, one time, you know how people talk shit a lot on Facebook, but one time I was commenting about what I thought about neck tattoos and facial tattoos. And next thing you know, a guy with fucking face tattoos comes at me. He's like, "What's wrong with face tattoos?"
Was it Brent Hines?
No, it was not. It was
a
it was actually a local guy. It's actually a local guy here who is quite famous for having a car that's completely all decked out in Hollywood Hogan gear.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I pissed off the wrong guy. Anyway, quick click of the block button and I was all safe. Anyway, I think we're on. You know what? I'm just going to do a quick check. Kevin, you go ahead and I'll catch up.
Okay. So this next one, it was if you're a vinyl collector, this is the scenario you want, where you got a buddy that calls you up and says, "Hey, I got a bunch of vinyl here, and it's from a buddy of mine. He's looking to get rid of it. I told him you were into vinyl, so just go through it and pick whatever you want out of it, and just give me whatever for it, and I'll give him the money." I'm like, "Great, awesome." So I went over to his place and puts down this crate of vinyl, and I start flipping through it, and it was a bunch of great stuff in there. But I think this guy was like a big party guy, because a lot of it was not in great shape. A lot of it was roughed up. It'd be like they had AC/DC Powerade, I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I have this already, but this is awesome that this is even in here. And you open it up, and there's a big, huge scratch down the thing, and broke my heart. But so he had like great taste. Like I could tell he had good taste, but there was a lot of stuff in there that I didn't recognize. So I knew I was getting a bit of a deal. So I took, some chances on some things. And one of the things in there that I found, it was a band I'd never heard of before. And they're a Canadian band called Mahogany Rush.
Yeah, Frank Marino.
Mahogany Rush. This album's called World Anthem. And they're, the other Rush from Canada, another trio. That not many people know about. I had never heard anything from him, and I put this on, and it was great. It was
I guarantee you,
fantastic.
the meat man will be in with you on that one.
What's the title of that one, Kev?
It's called World Anthem.
World Anthem. Okay.
And I liked it so much that the next time I went to a record store, I bought another one of it.
Beauty.
This one was $4, so I said, "What the heck? Why not?"
What's that one called?
So
What's next?
What's next?
Look at that car.
Yes, I love it.
Amazing.
I actually did give this one a stream before I bought it, so this one doesn't count as a blind buy, but this one
That one is.
does. And
Wicked.
I'm looking for more of their stuff. It's good stuff. He's a really good guitarist, and yeah. I took the words right out of my mouth. He needs more attention. He's been around for a while. He's played with a ton of artists, but it's good stuff.
I think Eric is enjoying the way these lists are going tonight.
So I recommend
Wicked.
it.
All right, Jay, it's up to you now with your number 8.
Okay. This is probably a really obvious one. Well, it's actually I'm cheating. I'm cheating here because I've got 2. There's 2 is my number 8.
Okay.
The reason there's 2 is because I bought them the same day.
Okay.
The same place. When I was flicking through the new arrivals bin, they were just sitting there. So I couldn't really pick one of them and not pick the other because I bought 2 of them. So I bought these a couple of years ago. You all know my power. Anyway, Robert Palmer.
Nice.
You all know
Sneaking Sally through the alley.
Yeah, and Clues. And I mean, the 2 of these albums are obviously very different. The cover's very different. This one, you obviously sneaking. I mean, it's weird because it's through an alley, but this looks like it's like some sort of train tunnel or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a train.
That's not an alley. That is not an alley.
Aye, because I thought, maybe running for a taxi or something.
It almost looks like they're in a science. It almost looks like Logan's Run.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that, I mean, I just love that cover.
Yeah.
But anyway, obviously, Power Station, I had only ever seen the cover of, and then Deacon was saying about it being awesome and stuff, and I was like, you know what, I've seen this millions of times for like £1, and I've never bought it. I'm going to buy it. And I went into it's actually called the Record Fair, the store, and I was like, where's that Power Station? It's been here for like years. Every time I'm in here, it's there. And I said to him, Power Station album? He's like, I sold it. And I was convinced it was HMO that went in and bought all the copies of Power Station before I could get it. But that was the first time I ever heard Robert Palmer was Power Station. And then I was in, that was actually missing. And I seen the 2 of them back to back. I thought, oh fuck, it's the guy for Power Station. And I bought them. And I mean, the 2 of them are just very different. Like, the Sneaking Sally, I mean, you guys know it, I'm assuming. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this really awesome kind of, I don't know, it's got that kind of R&B rock and roll type thing going on, and you're like, this is good. And then Clues is just like dead new wavy and kind of, it's like just this completely different sound. And you think about Addicted to Love and all that kind of stuff, and it's like here he's just dead ambitious and just just doing his sounds, and it's amazing. But those 2, probably my 2 favourite of the Robert Palmer albums, although I don't think he's got a bad one. I genuinely don't think he's got a bad one. A couple of average ones, but he doesn't have a bad one. But they're on in this gaff all the time. Yes, he does rule. Yes. But aye, so Robert Palmer's my joint number 8.
Very good. I like it.
Yeah, completely taken aback, and that stuff is just incredible. Some vocalist as well.
Excellent. Real beautiful. I love every single pick tonight. It's been great. Okay, so if anybody needs to take a break, let me know. We're at the kind of point where some people need to take a break, but that's cool. I don't need to take one yet. I am going to try to pick up the pace a little bit because it's already 8:30. I can't believe it. So I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit.
Okay.
1:30, mate. 1:30.
Sorry, what's that? 1:30. Right, exactly. I'm more thinking about you than anybody else, to be honest with you.
It's hard with all these albums. They all have stories with
I
them,
know.
so.
Yeah.
But,
Don't worry on my account anyway. You know, I'm
okay.
Yeah, no,
All right. Well, as long as you're cool.
I'm
I will need to take a mid-show break at some point, though. My number 7. We're in 7. I believe
Yep,
we are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I was in Frankenmuth, Michigan, and we talked about Detroit. I still remember my dad taking the wrong exit, thinking he was going to end up in Detroit. Anyway, I went to a record store because I wanted to buy specifically things that you can't get in Canada. And I bought a bunch of albums by Savatage. You guys know that I love Savatage. A bunch of stuff I'd never seen up here. And a solo album by a guy named Richie Kotzen. And this is his 3rd album, Electric Joy. It's an instrumental. I'd never owned anything by Richie Kotzen before. I knew that he was the new guitar player in Poison, but I don't think I'd heard him with... I can't remember if this came before or after I got the Poison album, but irrelevant because this is nothing at all like Poison. So that's why I call it a blind buy. I really had no idea what I was getting. This is really funky guitar, rock, jazz, funk, blues, everything. All instrumental, twangy, very twangy. The guy's an incredible guitar player, but he's also an incredible singer, and I had no idea that I was getting an instrumental. But I love it. I didn't love it maybe the first couple of years I had it. I found it very challenging and a kind of struggle to get through. But, oh yeah, and Brian Zinger's right. Frankenmuth is known as Christmasville, USA.
That's right.
Yeah. So my number 7 is Electric Joy by Richie Kotzen, the guitar player from Poison that I really had no idea what I was getting myself into. He's a genius. Absolute genius. In fact, for those Iron Maiden fans out there, that's him. Smith Kotzen, the new album that just came out by Adrian Smith and Richie Kotzen. That's them. So if you're a Maiden fan, you want to check him out for sure. Over to you, man.
Cool.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, and yeah.
Yeah. So my next one is probably the weirdest one on my list. And I'm not gonna lie. I'll apologize, Sarah. It was the cover art that grabbed me first. But I'm a dude. What am I gonna do? But,
I like the way this is going.
Dibs.
So this is Toulouse Engelhart, Martian Lust.
What the hell? What am
Right.
I looking at there? Naked?
She's got boobs hanging out.
No, she's got
Dibs.
pasties, I think.
Pasties,
There's,
okay.
there's pasties there. But this is okay. He's a contemporary, and he was in a guitar group with Leo Kottke. Is that how you say the name? Leo
think so.
Kottke, the acoustic guitar guy. Anyway, this is a weird disc. It's a lot of sort of tracks that are like the Martian Soliloquy and Requiem for a Martian. They're all sort of just sort of sound experiments and sort of blips and bleeps and things. But then there are these tracks that are kind of surf guitar. And I looked it up, and he's playing. I don't know if anybody knows what a Mosrite Ventures model guitar is. He was playing this thing, and yeah, right.
Spot
There you
on,
go.
Lana.
Is that like dogs? Is that like robot?
But what's
dogs?
interesting, Lana, is that on Mars the dogs pick up after you.
There's the line of the night right there. You got the title for the show.
So anyway, this is probably the weirdest thing. I read it that it was compared to Chet Atkins kind of guitar. I didn't hear that. It is twangy. It is very sort of surf, sort of Ventures kind of sound. But yeah, anyway, the cover art has taken over whatever I have to say about that album. Next.
Yeah, it has.
Oh,
It's
man.
unavoidable. Ah, shit. I think when I make my little screenshot for the for the post
great.
tomorrow, that's the picture.
Make sure my face isn't in there.
Oh, man.
Oh my God, Rob is enjoying it at least. Sarah, can you take us away from the graphicness of the way
Yes,
this has
I
been
can.
going? Okay,
This,
good.
this one was purely bought because I like the cover and I like the name of the album.
Okay.
And it's XTC Oranges and Lemons.
Oh, XTC is awesome.
Yes, I know this one.
So, as it turns out, I did know a song on here when I listened to it, Mayor Simpleton, but I didn't realize it. Do you know what I mean? And the cover, Oranges and Lemons, there's a song, Oranges and Lemons, the Bells of St. Clements. Like, when I was learning how to play piano when I was a little girl, that was one of the songs that we played, was Oranges and Lemons. So when I saw the cover, I was like, oh, no, that's kind of cool. And it's kind of a funky looking. And I bought this my first semester of art school. So there you go. I mean, so there you go. And the whole album's great. Fabulous. Love it.
Sarah, I just want to apologize to you. No, nobody else, just to you. Just this is going off the rails.
Oh, she's fine.
We're getting,
What happened?
She's married to me. Don't worry.
this whole thing keeps going back to Aaron's rude album cover here. I just feel like I need to apologize. You know, it's so rare that we have anybody on here who's not a man.
She's not squatting. She's kneeling. She's on one knee. So if you know anybody that boots like that,
Those are some go-go boots, man.
right?
Those are.
That's not squatting. She's kneeling. So that's kind of an awkward position for that.
Well, I think we have a highlight of the
Space,
evening.
I guess.
We definitely have a highlight for the evening already.
Kneeling, not squatting. There is a great name for an album.
Or maybe that's what I'll call the post tomorrow. Get some extra
An
hits.
ODP?
Oh, look, we have another request to see the picture.
It's an ODD, open door dunk.
Let's move on. I said that we need to speed things up, so let's move on. Kevin, let's crank it into high gear here.
Okay, I'll try to move on. So this is a band I had only heard them do a cover song on the Black Sabbath tribute album NIB.
Ooh, yeah.
They did a cover of Lord of This World, and I thought it was like the best song on the album. I thought it was terrific, but I went to the store and I knew the name, but I looked at the album cover and it looked like something I would not like. And this is Corrosion of Conformity, Deliverance, because it's like this weird, I don't know, speaker on fire, or is it a flower? What the heck is this thing? I don't know. But I got this thing home, and my goodness, like I was just getting into Black Sabbath at the time, and these guys sounded like Black Sabbath in the mid '90s, you know.
They did.
And it's that sludgy, stoner rock, and it's just so awesome. And here I was, like, fretting over buying it, and here I am holding it 25 years later, still the same one that I bought back in the day, still here,
Yep. Well, you know how I feel about that album. We talked about that. I think I gave it like 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Senor Limpio is on there. So many great songs.
It's great. It gets a little, little weird in some spots towards the end, but like so did Black Sabbath albums. They had like,
Yes, they did.
their interludes in between songs, but it's solid.
Yeah, that has a few interludes.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Deliverance.
Deliverance. Okay, no banjos then.
No.
There's
no
banjos.
No.
That was the title too. Kind of like everything. Kind of like this is not something I would buy. It looked like 90s grunge rock in some sort of weird way. It didn't look like Black Sabbath,
No.
but it is. Trust me, it is. It's good stuff.
It's awesome. That's their best album right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I do like America's Volume Dealer a lot though too, but yeah, I'd have to go with that one.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. J, we're on number 7.
Okay, we're into one. You'll know this. Probably in my top 5 albums of all time. It's very recent. When I say very recent, I mean like 20 years. I had not heard the album before this when I bought this, and I bought this because there was an artist, Mark Lanegan, was on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I like Mark Lanegan, so I bought it without hearing any of it. again, I've replaced the CD. Although I didn't sell this CD. The wee man now owns the CD.
Nice.
But it's
Ah!
rated R or rated X.
Oh, Queens of
Queens
the
of
That's the
Stone Age.
rated X
Okay.
version.
So, yep, Queens of the Stone Age. Probably one of my favourite bands of ever. I'm not going to, open up the gatefold.
That's okay.
Okay. I got you.
I feel like I have a couple more to censor.
Yeah.
But I mean, this album is just fucking incredible, man.
Yes.
It's
yes.
just, I probably listen to it every week, like I have done for like 20 years. I've listened to this
Wow.
album like every week, like easily. It's just incredible. Like,
That's one with Millionaire on there too, right?
no,
Okay, that's on the next
no,
one.
yeah. I mean, this has got like Lost Art, Keep a Secret, Monsters in the Parasol. I mean,
Yes.
there's not a bad song on here. Literally, it's not a bad song. And the tune with Lanigan is probably like one of the greatest songs ever. Yes, Brian. And I was like, yes, I hope he is watching, because I've mentioned Grohl, I've mentioned
Yeah.
Grohl, I've
And
mentioned
now
Robert
Hom.
Palmer, and I've mentioned Homie.
Yeah.
So, aye.
I hope he's
he is.
watching. If he's
That's
not
3
watching,
strikes.
we got to make sure.
He
That's
knew
three
that I was
strikes
going to
away.
mention these things. I bet he's probably, he was going to have a drinking game if I mentioned Robert Palmer. I was like, yeah, I will mention Robert Palmer. So he's
Nice.
probably, he might be drunk, because I mentioned Robert Palmer quite a bit, and I did say his name a couple of times. So he's
Does he tune in? Like
No,
like,
he hasn't. He hasn't watched.
Okay.
I don't think he's watched since last year when I was doing this like Saturday afternoons.
But
Oh
yes,
okay.
that's my number 7. Was that 7?
Put her down, Aaron.
I got it.
Put her down as rated X too, because that's the rated X
I
version.
put an R and then an X.
in
just
brackets, parentheses.
Actually, just a slash, but okay.
My number 6 is one that is going to make Eric go ape shit, because I believe this might be one of his favorite albums of all time, if I'm not mistaken. It's got some of his favorite musicians of all time, that is for sure. And it has actually been on multiple lists in the past. My Blind Buy, if I remember correctly, this came out. No, I do not remember correctly. Anyway, I saw it on a release sheet at the record store. I liked how many of the musicians involved. Two of the musicians involved. And I didn't know very much about the other 2 musicians involved. It's technically a super group. And I ordered it based on that stuff, not really knowing what I was going to get. And what I got was Liquid Tension Experiment number 1. And this is entirely instrumental once again. The last track is 30 minutes long. It's a 30-minute long improvisation. I remember I got this when I was living in a small apartment with T-Rev. I remember ordering 2 albums, and I can't remember what the other one was that came with it. But anyway, long story short, I didn't know Jordan Rudess yet. He was from Dixie Dregs. I didn't really know Tony Levin on bass there. I knew of him, but I don't think I had any. You know what? I probably had tons of stuff with him on it because he's on so many things. I just didn't realize it. Put 2 and 2 together. The other 2 guys are Mike Portnoy and John Petrucci from Dream Theater, which is that was why I bought it. But I mean, you can't really say that this is a Dream Theater album. Yes, it has elements of that, but I truly consider this a true blind buy because of the challenging nature of the music. 30-minute instrumental jam. A personal favorite and one of Eric Litwiller's. Oh shit, he knew. Yeah. So that's my number 6, Aaron. Liquid Tension Experiment.
Got it.
Number 1.
Okay. Is it me?
Yeah, it's you, man.
Okay. My next one, I knew, but I didn't know this album. So I still count it as a blind thing because I hadn't owned anything by them yet. I just knew of them. And you'll know who this is. This is and another one that may need to be censored, so I can
shoot.
find a piece of paper or hold my hand up or something. But this is the Dinner is Ruined.
Oh,
This-
yeah.
Love songs from the Lubratorium.
I think that could ruin any meal, actually.
Yeah. Dinner is Ruined is Dale Morningstar and Dave Clark from the Rio Statics and Dr. Johnny P. So yeah, that's a Canadian thing. I can do this. That makes everybody happy.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
You know. But this is a really good album, though. I really like, all those guys involved, and of course the like Dale Morningstar was involved with so many acts that you would know, like Gord Downey. When Dinner is Ruined also was the part of the backing band for the first 3 Gord Downey solo albums, and the dude from the Skydiggers, Finlayson, Josh Finlayson.
Yeah, Finlayson.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a really good album, but I bought it not knowing a thing about it. What in the world is on the cover? It's a redheaded woman holding an apple.
Topless.
But it's very strange. So
through a funhouse mirror.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or an acid trip.
Or an acid trip, yeah, or both even.
Or so I've heard.
At the same time.
I don't know.
Right. I would not know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Anyway, great.
Really.
Thank you for getting us censored, Aaron. Funny enough, I follow the Deep Purple podcast on Twitter, and those guys did a special recently on John Lord's solo album, The Gemini Suite, which has 2 men, a painting of 2 men. I guess they're naked. Yeah, I guess they're naked. Can't really see anything. But anyway, apparently YouTube sent them a notice about nudity in their podcast. So
I just messed you up here, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, Sarah, please take us to something that's less going to get me banned on YouTube.
Okay, well, this selection is like total blind buy. Basically, I walked into an HMV and they were playing a song, and I went up to the cashier. I'm like, "What band is this?" "Oh, it's Julia Propeller."
Ooh. Oh my God.
So Julia Propeller, they're a London, Ontario band. They no longer exist, but they're great folk, a little bit of quiet rock, nice voices, nice harmonies, and the price was right, and I just bought it on a blind, and I really like it, and I still like it to this day. The band didn't survive, but it's so that complete blind buy.
That's awesome.
And it ended
Some
up
of my
a good thing. Yeah.
Some of my happiest record store memories are when I'm playing something in the store and somebody says, "What is this?" and they like it and buy it. Didn't happen all the time.
I did that with John Spencer. With you sold me a John Spencer album, and I said, "Who the hell is that screaming?"
Really? Yeah, that could be.
And it was the first John Spencer album where they're really out there, right? Because they had just come from the Pussy Galore. They were, and that was a lot of noise, right?
Yeah.
You sold me my first John Spencer album.
Wow, I'm honored. I'm honored.
I got them all now.
Brian's asking to see it again. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
Here you go, Brian.
And
Julia
that's the name
Propeller,
of the
go on
band.
back.
It's the band. It's not an actual person.
Yeah, it's not a Julia. Like, that's what I look. When I looked at it, I thought, does this go under P or J?
Right.
She said, no, it goes under J because it's the band's name is Julia
Propeller. And
as Eric would or me would say, there's no broad in this band.
There's 2 broads.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, there's 2 broads.
I'll show you when I know.
And they have another album.
We're gonna get banned for other reasons.
There's another album floating around. It's no longer around.
Well, that one's probably not in print either.
No,
right?
no. It's sort of by chance. I think if we went to London, we might be able to find it. Maybe, I don't know.
But you can stream it online, right?
No,
no.
Used to be able to too, and I went to the Wayback Machine even.
It's not even on YouTube.
No.
Wow.
It doesn't exist.
There you go.
There you go.
There's your case for physical copies right there.
Yeah.
You should rip that and put it on YouTube and get a bunch of hits from London.
Yes.
100%, man. Well, I guess we'll keep our eyes open down in this part of the province if things stay open.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Kevin.
Okay, get ready to be triggered once again because my next my number. What are we at? 5?
6.
My number 6 is an entire box set.
Oh shit!
But
that's wild.
But
that's
wild. So I knew of this band. I knew one song from this band. But then it went on sale, and I actually bought it because of you guys, because of that email group and everything. You guys were saying, "Hey, this is on sale. You should totally check this out."
Your Bop's fault.
What's that?
Probably Bop's fault then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably.
So it was only $40, and it contained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 albums. There's a bunch of stuff. Anyways, it's Max Webster.
Oh yeah!
And the only song I knew from them was Toronto Tontos. I knew that was Max Webster. And as I started going through all the albums, I started recognizing more and more songs. But I always thought they were Kim Mitchell songs, because Kim Mitchell was the lead singer.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was from his solo stuff. I had no idea a lot of it was Max Webster. But this, became one of my favorite sets. And I listened to this all the time.
That is a terrific blind buy.
Yeah. It was a good time.
I have that.
That is awesome.
You can only drive down Main Street so many times.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true, isn't it?
There you go.
Hey!
Wow. Well, do I have to grab my copy now? Yeah, I guess I do. Actually, you can see it. You can see my copy behind me.
The party. And it was $42. It was
it was
really
so
good,
cheap. Yeah.
Really good deal.
There's my copy right there.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's great. I got no fire on me. Oh, great pick. Okay, Jay, you go, and then I'm going to take the mid-show break.
Okay. Right. This was a complete blind buy. I was looking on I'm pretty sure it was Fat Possum, they've got the sort of Big Legal Mess website as well. So it was like I was looking for something else, and I saw this cover, and I just went, right, I'm buying that. So and then I found out about the guy, and I was like, that was surprising. So this guy, Hunt Sales Memorial, get your shit together.
Heard of him.
So I mean, this is like 2-3 year old now, and it's easily like one of my absolute favorite albums of ever, genuinely since forever. So anyway, I was like, Hunt Sales, I know the name, but it turns out he was the drummer in Tin Machine. And he also, Lust for Life, he's the man responsible for the drum beating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But his story's incredible, man. I ended up like going down that rabbit hole, when you start looking up something because you bought it while I was waiting for it to come, and I was, oh man, I love this guy already. And I started watching some of the wee kind of clips on YouTube because they had one of the songs on there, so I was watching that. But that didn't even prepare me for the album. The album is incredible. It's like it's got dead kind of soulful. I mean, you kind of think, it's going to be punky, like punk stuff, or at least very rock orientated. But it's like Stax, It's like proper old kind of soul stuff. But it's got it's got the horns in it. But it's got a beat. It really fucking kicks ass, man. It's brilliant. It's genuinely incredible, like absolutely incredible stuff.
Sorry, somebody just overshadowed everything.
Oh, what's its name?
This is Oscar.
Oh,
might have to get Oscar on with Rob Daniels' cat Gimli one day.
Oh.
He's got to go.
Okay. Jay, brilliant pick, man.
That is.
We got a lot of. Oh, what is the Hunt Sales album title again? One more time.
Get your shit together.
There you go, Brian. Get your shit together.
It's amazing. It's honestly, if I was going to sit and say, even though it's no my number one pick, if I was going to say go out and buy an album, like or go online and buy an album now, I would say go buy that. It's so good. It's lovely white vinyl as well.
Cool.
That's on Fat Possum.
Yeah.
It's the big legal mesh, you know. They're kind of they've got the wee subsid, so
because they really can do no wrong.
Totally, and that's you know, like I say, I was just kind of looking for something else. I went on there, and then I seen that, and I went, I'm getting that. So it's incredible, absolutely incredible.
Nice,
very cool. Okay, I've got it written down.
Yeah,
spending my money.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a break. What song shall we play during the break? I know Kevin and Sarah have some.
Are you serious right now?
What?
Are you dead serious right now? You're asking what song to play.
I'm totally dead serious. I'm asking.
Seriously, Ladano, what song?
Well, I don't know. Like
play?
We have so many to choose from now.
Come on.
ODP. Okay, it looks like we're playing ODP. Have you heard this song, Jay?
I don't think so.
Okay, so this is a song by our good friend, Mr. T-Bone Erickson out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. You know, Deke's best friend.
Yep.
It's a song that he wrote for my good buddy Eric Litwiller, and it is called "Open Door Piss." So, by request, here is ODP. We'll see you in a few minutes, fellas and Sarah.
their kiss. An open door kiss. Like 90s ballads from Aerosmith. An open door kiss. When the Jays can't get no hits. An open door kiss. When your socks they smell like this. An open door kiss. When you just don't give a shit. An open door kiss. I think you get the gist. An open door
I love that song.
You know, every time I listen to that song, there's like a new line that catches me. And this time it was when Desmond Child's writing songs with Kiss. An open
me-
door pass.
For
Do you
me, it's
remember-
always the 90s ballads from Aerosmith?
Do you
Yeah.
remember, Kevin? We were doing a list show one day, and Eric was ranting about Desmond Child, and Mike Fraser was watching that time.
Yes.
And I think he was. Yeah, I think that's how it went down. Yeah, I did hear about this. I think this was a week or two ago. Vince Neil did a big kind of comeback solo show, and he had to stop singing right in the middle of "Girls, Girls, Girls." He'd lost his voice. Walked off the stage. T-Bone is great. He's got. I hope he puts out an album. Honestly,
I like that the hose song too from last.
yeah, "Water from a Hose." I'm going to play that tomorrow because that song was inspired by Andy Curran. So I'm going to play that
That's
song
great, yeah.
tomorrow. Actually, I'm might play it tomorrow while I'm trying to buy that Triumph box set that we were talking about in the email group.
I hate Record Store Day. I just
Yeah,
I hear
I
that
do.
you guys were emailing about that. I just felt all the agita with that stupid. I just
I
put it
agree.
out. You know,
Yes.
why has it got to be like everyone's got to panic about getting this thing and are they going to get it or not?
Yeah.
You know
and,
what,
you know,
Kevin?
your record store doesn't have it, so what's
Right.
the point?
I hate the
You know
whole
what?
thing.
You know what, Kevin? I know I said I wanted to speed things up a bit, but I'll just take a quick aside here. The same thing is happening in the toy community. Stuff is coming out that it's a Target exclusive, it's an Amazon exclusive, it's a Best Buy exclusive,
Yeah,
and it's
ridiculous.
pissing people off that they can't get it.
It-
Hasbro right now has a club called Hasbro Pulse. You subscribe; it's a pay-based club, and then they have all these exclusives that you can't get. They're gone within. I'm hearing reports of 15 seconds. They're all gone. You're
Well,
paying.
we live in Canada too, and a lot of this is in the States, and we get screwed for shipping, and we get like it's all kinds of. It sucks.
It makes you just want to get out of it. Like I
Yeah.
don't want any part of
It
that.
sucks.
100%.
Record
Okay.
Store Day
Exactly.
lost the plot. It used to be about promoting the store and everybody get out to your brick and mortar and keep these people alive. And now it's just been taken over with, hey, here we can repress
Scalpers.
these albums and we can,
Fuck
you know,
scalpers.
Well, really,
Yeah,
it's people who buy it up so they could go sell it online later. They don't
Yeah.
care about
Right. I've used the phrase "the late tax" before, and that's what I call it. Somebody, like for example, this Triumph box set that's coming out tomorrow. If I cannot get it tomorrow during my show, I will have to pay the late tax on it, whatever
Yeah.
somebody's asking on Discogs or eBay, because I wasn't able to get it.
So is
See, and
that
the
like a
ridiculous
Record
thing-
Store Day thing then? The box.
Sorry,
say
what's
again?
that, Joe?
I was just saying, is the box, is that a Record Store release? Aye, Record Store Day release.
Yes. This one that I'm talking about, the Triumph box set, is a anniversary release of Allied Forces, and they've decided to do it as a limited edition Record Store Day, and that's true too. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to get us back on track here. Enough of my little segue. We left off at number 6, which puts us in the top 5, and this is one that Eric Litwiller is going to love. I had a customer come in one day. He used to sell me a bunch of great remasters, and I was all about collecting remasters at the time. They were promos. He was selling promos. I can tell because it has the divot in the spine. And Eric Litwiller and I have a mutual friend named Tom Morwood, and Tom is the co-founder of Sausage Fest, which you've heard me talk about many times. But he used to have a lot of parties at his house, and on his walls he would have these gigantic posters of this band. Artwork from this band, not the band themselves. I didn't know what the band looked like. The band was called Marillion.
Oh yeah.
And ironically, this was also a blind buy for Aaron, this album. But this guy came in with a bunch of remasters, and I believe he had 3 or 4 Marillions. And I was like, it's time for me to try this band. So This is the one I picked, and I believe I picked it based on reputation. Brought it to the cottage that weekend. I remember arriving at the cottage several hours before my parents, putting my ghetto blaster down on the kitchen countertop and cranking Misplaced Childhood. And I mean, we all know what happened from there. What did I write? I wrote the start of an addiction, hundreds of discs long. And I don't think that's an exaggeration. My number 5 is Misplaced Childhood. On to you, Aaron, who also bought this.
In my defense, yes, I was going to say, in my defense, if you go to a record store with Mike and you don't own any Marillion, and he finds a deal on one of their albums, he says, "Here, you need this." So then you just get it.
Right.
Because,
Right. Like we were at, I still remember it was BMV, and it was there on their used shelf. And I said, Aaron, you don't see this used very, very often. If I were you, I'd grab it. And if you don't like it, just pass it on.
You did that with Marbles too. It was a 2 CD.
It's a fucking great album, and it's so hard to find a 2 CD, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what? Shit. Let's mention this real quick since we're on this topic. This is my guest next week, Jacob
Very
Moon.
cool.
He'll be in. Actually, I got 2 guests next week, but this is one of them. This is Saturday, Jacob Moon, and yeah, he's got some Marillion connections, and we will be talking to him about Marillion and his Rush connections.
Very cool. I won't be on there, but tell him I think he's awesome.
Dude, you can certainly. You want to pop in and say hello? I'll be happy to send you the link, man.
Well, I'm a fan. I've got a lot of that. So my next one, I covered on the KMA already, so I won't belabor this. It won't be long. This I grabbed just because, and it is the Black Acid Mother's Temple and Space Paranoid. The album is called Black Magic Satori. And this is Japanese psychedelic fuzz metal. It's very, very, very Sabbath.
The cover looks very Priestess.
Yeah. And they're a Japanese band, and that they've got many different iterations. Like Space Paranoid is just one band. They've got a whole bunch of others, but the Acid Mother's Temple is sort of the main thing, and then they have. But they've been going forever, and it's all really heavy, really awesome stuff. So
check that out.
It's cool.
There you go.
Awesome live. There you go. I haven't seen them live, but I bought that on spec. Just like that looks really cool. And when I got it home, it was, it's very good stuff.
Wicked. Love it.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Okay, so I've talked about this singer before, and I'm familiar with first time I heard him was on Much Music. He had one song that was called You Lose, You Gain, and I'm not gonna keep going here, but just that I really liked the album cover when I saw it in the store, and I bought it. And it's you've seen this before. It's John Bonhamley, Blackberry.
Was that on your top Canadians?
Yep.
You know what, Sarah? That's one of my also rans.
Hey!
It was one of my also rans.
Oh, wow.
And it was because of you that I bought it.
Oh.
And
wow.
And back in the day, 1995, I mean, look at the Photoshop work on this. I mean, it's pretty, I mean, these days it's sort of like, ew.
Yeah, that font is very,
it's kind of like,
that's
it's
the 90s,
tired
though.
and whatever.
That's the 90s for you.
But like back in the day, I thought it was really nicely designed, and
It looks very similar to Rick Emmett's solo album, the vinyl, the Spiral Notebook, if I recall. But I might be.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Yes. And like I'm judging a book by its cover too. So you hear the song and you see this, and it's like, I like the look of this. You don't know a thing about the album, but you listen to the album and it ends up being a great thing. So there we go. That's
Love it. Top that, Kevin. I like throwing the challenges down. Wait, I got one. Trigger Eric, Kevin.
This might, I don't know, because I did, I heard one song by this band before I bought the album. I used to work a lot of evening shifts, and I was running this show called Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and the musical guest
Never
on
heard
there
of that.
came out. It was only 2 guys, one guy on guitar, one guy on drums, and the band blew me away. They were bluesy and rocking, and they only performed the one song, but I went and tried and found the album, and I still have it right here.
The Black Keys.
Thick Freak,
Yeah!
of the Black Keys.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan. I have all their albums except for the new one. I haven't got that one yet, but there you go. Just one song on Conan O'Brien was all it took, and I got a bunch of my other friends in on it, including Bill. There you go. See,
Now, why is he saying it's Kev BS?
because he believes that he told me about the band.
I
and
heard them talking about this on their show the other
Right.
week.
See, Bill is notorious for having a bad memory, and this is yet another one of his bad memory moments. We weren't even working together at the time. I was working at another television station. He was working at another one, and I don't know what he thinks. What is he talking about? He knows who is responsible for his BK discovery.
Burger King.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. They microwave your hamburger.
You know
thanks.
they microwave those hamburgers, right?
They do?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We had a Burger King in Sudbury. Here we go, off topic. A Burger King in Sudbury that has the kitchen was open. You could see everything they do in the kitchen.
Oh, shit. No.
So they flame broil your burger,
And then they
and then they
it.
put the vegetables and stuff
toppings.
on there, and then to melt the cheese, they put the cheese on there, put the bun on there, wrap it all up, and stick it in the microwave.
Ah,
My ex brother-in-law worked for the BK, that BK downtown, and they would do that to warm the burgers because they preheat they'd make them and they'd have them under those lamps, but then they'd have to warm them up. Yes, confirmed.
So when you'd go out drinking and the bars would close at 2 a.m., the only thing that was open in Sudbury was Burger King.
Oh.
And so, we all talk about the stupid how they microwave their burgers and all that. So my buddy, I'm not going to say his name, but my buddy said, asked the guy as he's about to put this burger in the microwave, he's like, don't put the hamburger in the microwave. And the guy, like it broke his brain a little, right? Like he didn't know, because they're trained to do things in a certain way. And the guy's like, my buddy's like, no, don't put it in the microwave. He's like, no, I have to put it in the microwave. And so he ended up putting it in the microwave. So we're sitting in the car because you couldn't eat in the restaurant, right? It was only partly open at that time. So we're sitting in the car, we're eating our burgers, and my buddy's asking everybody for ketchup packets. He's like, you got any ketchup packets? Ketchup packets. So we're handing him whatever ketchup packets he wants and all that. And I'm sitting in the front seat. I don't know what's going on in the back, but they're like, what are you doing with all this ketchup? What are you doing? So he put all the ketchup on the bun, and he walked up to the window and he wrote a big F-U on there because they microwaved his burger.
holy shit.
So the guy, there's a guy inside and he's mopping, and he sees us and he just drops his mop, and he runs, to the phone or something like that. So my buddy's running back and we're telling drive away. We're telling our other buddy drive away, and he's like, what? Like he was totally unaware of what was going on. Hijinks ensued. It was good times.
Yeah,
We got to make sure we move on, or Brian's going to do that.
Sorry.
Hey, Holden, how you doing?
I don't have very good stories.
Anyway.
Thanks, old no name.
Okay, Jay, can you get us off the topic of microwaved hamburgers, please?
That's so good.
Thank you.
That's brilliant. I don't even know how to even begin after that.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's the fact that he scribbled on the window with the sauce. That's amazing. Just imagine that guy running out with a mop and.
Yeah, someone else had to clean it that night. It was.
I don't know, Mr. Simpson. I just work here.
Wee bit dried in as well, man. That would be a nightmare to get off your window. Anyway, what is this? 5?
5.
Okay, 5. Right. My top 5 is interchangeable, right? So I'll pick probably the album, I guess. It was, again, I was aware that he had a few albums before this, Justin Townsend.
Oh, rest in peace.
he had a few before this one, but I didn't ever really bother with him. Partly because I knew somebody who said he was basically, just making records because his dad's name, effectively. So I was kind of like, all right, well, because there's artists that you go, they're famous fathers and stuff, and fair enough. But anyway, that came out 2010, and I was going to buy, it was Jelly Welsh album I was going to buy, but I decided to pick that up. Just, I liked the cover, and I went,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm actually going to buy that, even though I hadn't really listened to anything. So I took it home. It was a CD. Put it on, and literally I just sat there going, this is like some of the greatest music I've ever heard. Even to this day, I honestly think that album was the kind of start in showing you that he was as good as anybody. Like, even though, people go, oh, his dad was Steve Earle, and that's why, he making records and stuff, or at least that's some people I know. But I mean, I think I probably listened to Justin Townsend and had before listened to him more than I listened to Steve Earle. I just, the music resonates. And I don't listen to him any more or less now since, but man, it's fucking incredible music, absolutely incredible. Such honestly, I can't stress just how much I fucking love that album. It's so good, man. And it looks great, like the front cover is just incredible,
Yeah.
Like
It looks like an old photo.
Like an old Polaroid.
Yeah, Polaroid. That's the word I'm looking for. And like somebody personalized it for someone.
But yeah, look at the background too. Like he looks like he's standing there in front of the Mississippi or something.
You know what it makes me think of is those river baptisms, kind of.
Yeah. There's that spiritual thing going on there too. Yeah.
Or some candid at a wedding that was suicide. So that last name, it's Justin Towns
Earl.
Earl.
Yeah, Steve Earle's son. Ah, look
Steve
at that.
Earle's son, yeah.
You've got Eric interested. It looks like Harry Dean Stanton. It does.
See the title track, like I think it's Letterman. See if you type in Justin Townsend Harlem River Blues, Letterman. There's like probably the best, I guess, Letterman performance you'll ever see. Like,
wow. Let's see if Eric is a Letterman junkie. So
it's just great, man. He's got the threads on. He just looks absolutely like this old. I mean, it's kind of like you get that whole revivalist thing. You get your country music, then you get your revivalist stuff, which was like Pokey Lafarge and all that kind of thing. And obviously, Pokey Lafarge just came on a lot more over the last 10 years or whatever. But Justin Townsend came about. He had that whole revivalist thing going on. He had the look, the brown suit, and you're kind of going. It's it doesn't have substance, if you like. It's all style. But then when you heard them playing, you heard the songs, and you're just like, holy shit, man, this stuff is just incredible. Like, and that Letterman performance is brilliant. He just looks amazing, and the way he plays, absolutely brilliant. And also the best Springsteen song is on that album as well. The shit. Rogers Park. It's brilliant, man. Honestly, another one that I would say I probably listen to an awful lot.
No, he's from Cincinnati. Sarah, another interesting thing about Justin Townes Earle, his middle name Towns is taken from Townes Van Zandt, who was Steve Earle's possibly his biggest influence and one of his best friends.
Yep.
He once said of Townes Van Zandt, he's a better songwriter than Bob Dylan, and I will get up on his coffee table in my cowboy boots and tell him so. Something like that. That was something like the quote.
And he's not wrong.
No, he's brilliant.
The box set here. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's who he's named after, is his middle name, Townes.
Yep.
I am going to move on to my number 4. And I must have bought this in the fall of 91 or early winter of 92. I thought I knew what I was getting myself into. I read a Meat Magazine, back to Meat Magazine interview, Meat Magazine reference, that said, lock up your cat after you listen to this album. And I bought it because, hey, I like Mike Patton from Faith No More, so obviously I'll like his side projects too. Well, fuck, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Jay is nodding yes. This is one of the most fucked up albums you will ever hear in your life. It's got a horn section. It's produced by John Zorn. I'll read you the tracks. Travolta, Slowly Growing Death, Squeeze Me Macaroni, Carousel, Egg, Stub a Dub, My Ass is on Fire, The Girls of Porn, Love is a Fist, and Dead Goon. And there's a picture of a guy with his cutting his own head off on the back cover. This is like, yeah, he says Oingo Boingo on schizophrenia. It is like, I just had it. Circus music, thrash metal circus music.
Oh man,
It's
and yes, Townes Van Zandt died last year of fentanyl. That's true. Anyway, blind buy, because even though I knew Mike Patton, I did not know Mike Patton at all. And if you know what I'm talking about, going from Faith No More's The Real Thing album, where he's singing nasally and rather straight by comparison, and then you go to this, yeah, that's a blind buy. And I had no idea. I remember studying for exams, listening to this. I don't know if that was a good idea or not. Anyway, my number 4, Mr. Bungle, the self-titled debut. And yeah, they probably were, Lana. I can't guarantee that. You know what? There's such a high level of musicianship to Mr. Bungle. I would say they were definitely not high while they were performing. No way were they high when they're performing. Writing.
Patton's just like off the map, man.
Look at that. There you go. Right there.
Yeah.
And I'm completely, just so everybody knows, I'm completely fucked on caffeine right now. Like, I can actually feel my hand shaking at this point. But I did say I wanted to get things moving. So over to Aaron with your number 4.
Okay. Yeah, when I went to college in your town, Mike.
Yeah.
There was a dude there that just wouldn't stop talking about Mr. Bungle. He just loved it.
That was me.
No, it was another guy.
It was another guy.
Yeah. So Kevin, my number 4. I only know the numbers because I'm writing them down on the sheet as we go. Kevin, you're not the only one with a box set in your list.
All right.
I bought this purely on spec, just because it looked fun. And it was another one like that tease with the Zeds this is the Alcatraz Ultimate Fortress box set. This is 5 CDs and a DVD of Alcatraz, and there's what's on it. It's all the albums.
I have one album, the one with Steve Vai.
Yeah, that's why it was interesting when I finally got into it, because of his involvement.
Right. So we got Steve Vai, Yngwie J. Malmsteen, and Graham Bonnet from Rainbow.
Yeah, Graham Bonnet. And in fact, this box set contains most of their recorded and videoed output, and in a booklet with a handwritten introduction from Graham Bonnet. So
neat.
Yeah, it's a really cool little box set. Now, when you open it up for that many discs, it's just the little sleeves,
right?
Like the really thin little, cardboardy pockets for discs. They're not plastic cases or anything, but yeah. So there's Malmsteen and So I don't know. It's neat. This is all bonus tracks.
My favorite story about this band comes from a Steve Vai interview. And, back then there was no internet. Nobody knew what was going on. Malmsteen's gone, and it's his first gig. And he comes out on stage, and the crowd is chanting, Yngwie, Yngwie, Yngwie. No. And he just comes out, and he's like, hi, I'm not Yngwie. but he won the crowd over. Sorry, I do not have the Lake Cam tonight, my friend, but the Lake Cam will be back next week.
Yeah.
I think that might be heavy metal bullshit.
That might be heavy metal bullshit. I mean,
They
it
have-
is.
They
You know,
have a
that
lot
kind of
underlines under their logo. Their logo is
right.
like they really want to emphasize that.
Oh yeah,
Plus
looks
the two's
like
head.
it looks like a logo of a band on a T-shirt on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah,
Totally. Plus the two's
Right.
head.
Totally
Yeah.
does.
That's cheesy, man.
It looked good in the keyring.
Yes.
You know what it reminds me of, Aaron? I know you used to watch Strong Bad back in the day.
I love Homestar Runner.
Right, and he would make up these bands like Laser, and it was like Laser with an O-O-R, or
Yeah.
Big Knife, and the
Yes.
big had 2 G's.
Yeah.
You know?
Long live Truck War.
Oh my God. Sarah, do you have anything as cheesy as Alcatraz?
No.
Music's
Okay.
I
No,
don't.
your picks have been pretty solid tonight.
So my next one comes from back in the day when I used to listen to satellite radio, Sirius XM. We had that in the
Cool.
car. I had it in the car. Actually, it goes way back. We're talking when I was a little girl. And one thing leads to another used to play on the radio, and I didn't know who the band was or anything. But I would always listen to the 80s on 8 and the First Wave channel. And they would play One Thing Leads to Another and Saved by Zero. And since then, it was always like burned in my brain about that band. And we started collecting. And I go through the vinyl and I find The Fix.
Oh, well, I couldn't give you the warning. I would have gotten it ready. I thought you were talking about that band there.
This guy works in TV and he misses his
Here we
cue.
go. You had
Well,
it there.
she didn't
You
give
had
me-
it there.
You got to give me a heads up here.
Oh, that's such a great cover. So
Reach the
classic.
beat. And
Such a classic cover.
subsequent to satellite radio, I listened to streaming radio, AccuRadio. It's a streaming service for free. You can listen. And they would play The Fix all the time. And they'd show a little box of a picture of the album. And they'd show this cover. And I'm like, that looks awesome. I got to find that.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, so the whole album is awesome. And from there, I got Shuttered Room and I got Parallels and whatever else they released. So I've got all the ones that I think I have them all.
Now, didn't we buy that in Montreal and they're from Montreal?
No,
Oh.
You're thinking of the box.
Oh.
No.
Ah,
The box. It
Nice
had an
try.
X at the end.
two bands from the same era.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool.
Ordinary
Anyways.
people.
Brian is triggering Eric right now. Let's see if maybe we can here, I'll throw in a Bad Batch reference. Maybe we can get Kevin to trigger Eric to the point that he blows his Order 66 chip.
No,
Let's-
Eric's going to like this one. I know Eric likes this.
Okay, so we're not going to get his Order 66 chip blown.
So again, this was another band that was in that crate of records. I went over to my buddy's house and he just said, go ahead, go through these records. And like I said, a lot of the records were beat up. So I knew the guy had good taste, but there was stuff in there I didn't recognize. Now this one was so like, I bought it and brought it home and then I totally forgot about it. And so much so like when I would flip through the collection, I'd look at the album cover and I'd think it was one of Sarah's albums. I thought it was something that she bought. And it was actually when we were doing the concept album show
Great
that I was
show.
looking through my collection and I was like, okay, what in my collection is considered to be a concept album? And I was cross-referencing in that, and this album came up, and I thought, and I think I even asked Sarah, I'm like, this album that you bought, did you know it was a concept album? She's like, I didn't buy that. So I had to like trace it back and like, oh, I bought that. I bought it. So anyways, the album is FM.
Oh yeah.
Black Noise by the band FM. They're a
Yep.
Canadian band.
Yep.
And it's like prog rock. They got
Well,
some
Nash
guitar
the
in there.
Slash.
What's that?
Nash the Slash was in FM.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it's like they use like an electric
Violin.
violin.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fantastic, and I love this album, Black Noise. I even put it on my concept album list because I liked it so much. And then the next time I went to the record store, I found the FM and I bought every FM album I could find.
Wow. And this is not to be confused. There's a UK band called FM.
No, this is the legit Canadian FM band. I don't know if they have that logo.
That's
Phasers
cool.
on Stun.
So yeah, that's their big songs, Phasers on Stun. But it's all great stuff, and like you never hear it. Like I never heard any of the stuff on the radio except for Phasers on Stun. Which
Ben Mink on electric violin. That's right.
They had a few like members come and go.
Ben Mink played the violin solo on "Losing It" by Rush.
Okay.
Okay.
But anyways,
everything returns to Rush.
Yeah.
That's cool, Kevin. I love it. There you go. But I have a feeling we won't be able to connect Jay's next pick to Rush, I don't think. I think Jay's next pick is going to be a little bit different. Let's see what he has to say.
Okay. This is... I got into this one. I guess I went into it blind because I was aware of it was a yellow-faced friend.
I know who you mean.
Who posted about one of their albums, and I was like, oh, I'm going to buy that, but I ended up buying two. So I knew kind of what I was getting into, but kind of not at the same time. So it's this album is just incredible, man. Earthless from the Ages. Again, I saw the cover and I was like, I'll just buy that as well.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
You know, there's 4 songs, double LP. One of the songs is on. It's split across the 2 sides.
Wow.
So it's 30 minutes long. So I guess that's maybe a link to Rush, you know, over long songs. Well, in the case of Rush, sorry.
I might have to get that.
But oh man,
to me, yeah.
This is like some of the greatest music you'll hear. Loads of, swelling guitars, feedback, incredible guitar playing. When the Black Crowes, reformed for their tour that didn't happen.
Yeah.
It was Mitchell, Isaiah Mitchell, the guitar player for Earthless. That was signed up to
he's in the current lineup.
So yeah. Oh. I don't know how he fits in with Black Crowes because
we don't know yet.
He's incredible. He's probably currently my favorite guitar player.
Wow.
He's brilliant.
Cool. Well, now I'm looking forward to that Crows tour if it ever happens.
Fingers crossed it doesn't, eh?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, well, I guess I'm next. We're heading into the top 3. And this is my first time where I'm going to be coming at you with a double. About, a month and a half ago, a good friend of ours, Mr. John T. Snow, had a special guest on our show. And that guy's name was Paul Lane. And even though Deke named one of his many websites after a Paul Lane album, Stick It In Your Ear, and even though Paul Lane is Canadian and was around when I was listening to that kind of rock, and even though his kind of rock is right up my alley, I never listened to any Paul Lane until I had to because I was interviewing him. And holy shit, man, these 2 albums are incredible. Paul Lane's solo Stick It In Your Ear and the Defiance Zokusho. I bought them both at the same time. I love them both equally. What a talented guy. What a nice guy. I kind of feel like that Paul Lane interview that we did was ticked the box off my bucket list, just have a great interview with a great rock star. And even though I was new to him, I think that's the best thing I've ever done and ever will do. What a great guy. What a great pair of albums. Oh fuck, man! I can't wait to start digging back and getting some more Paul Lane. So blind buy out of obligation for research purposes that turned to pure love. There you go. That's my number 3. Over to you.
Okay.
Over to you.
This is another one that I covered on the KMA already. And this is Witch.
Ooh.
This is stoner metal, I guess you could call it. And I only bought it because Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr. is on it. That's the only name. That was the hook that got me to buy it. But he's on drums. He's not playing guitar.
Oh, interesting.
So, so it's a very different experience, but a great listen. So that's probably some of your heavy metal BS right there. But I did cover that one on the blog already. So I love it. I think it's great.
Interestingly enough, one of my picks coming up is a drummer that plays guitar on the album that I picked. But we won't get into that. We'll let Sarah talk.
Okay. Complete blind buy.
Okay.
On this album, but I had heard one song of this band. And they didn't have the album that the song was on that I liked.
Okay.
They had this one. So I took a chance on it because I was intrigued by the cover.
Okay.
The album is called Blind by the Sundays.
I remember that.
Love the Sundays.
Yeah.
And the song is not on there. They have Wild Horses, which is like a redone of the Stones song.
Yeah.
But I devoured this in the summer of '93. This was like, this just was baked into my CD player. It never left. Great inspiration. I was doing a lot of art back then, and I just put that on, and it would just, it was a great thing to listen to.
Yeah.
So that's my
a great album.
number 3, I guess.
Number 3.
I've seen the cover, but never heard any of the music. The cover's very familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a track on the DGC Rarities disc too called "Don't Tell Your Mother."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
and by the way, trying to find the vinyl, if I want to spend $500.
Oh yeah.
There was a record store day reissue of that too, and we can't find it.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Moving on.
Okay, Kevin, trigger Eric for me, please. He's going to be my
I don't
subject.
I don't know.
The ODP again.
Trigger somebody.
Why don't I just do my number 3? Because I don't know. It probably will trigger somebody.
Okay.
So this, I'd only heard one song from this band. I had just got Much Music, and they were airing this video with 2 guys that I recognized in the video. It was a guy called, was it Whitfield Crane?
Yeah.
From Ugly Kid Joe.
Yeah.
And he was singing this song with the rapper Ice-T. And in the back was this guy with this gravelly voice, and he was speaking up into this microphone. He was singing up into this microphone. I'm like, what the hell is this? But the music was like incredible. It had this big bluesy riff. And the song was from this actually terrible movie called Airheads.
Yeah, that is a terrible movie.
Good.
Oh man, I love that film.
Oh boy.
Of course you do. We just rewatched it, and it does not hold up well at all. But it's got a cool cameo by this guy from this band called Lemmy, and Motorhead. I loved it. I loved the song. So the album that I blind bought was the Best of Motorhead. I went to, I wasn't sure what to buy, right? Like I liked that one song and I wasn't sure what to get. So I was flipping through, and they had like a ton of different best ofs, and but they all looked like really crappy. But this one looked like it was it was good quality. Like had like photos and stuff on the inside, and lots of songs. I had 20 songs on there. So I bought it, and I was a little disappointed that the music on it was a little not as hi-fi as Born to Raise Hell is on here. It's a little more lo-fi recordings, but this was my gateway into the band, and I just fell in love with them. I remember hearing the first song on it is Killed by Death, and I'm listening to the song, and I thought he was saying kill my cat. Like, is he saying kill my cat? And I'm reading like Killed by Death. Okay, I don't know. It sounded like Killed My Cat, but I ended up loving it. And anytime I would bring up Motorhead to other people, I'd say, yeah, I started getting into Motorhead, and they'd all say like the Ace of Spades. Oh yeah, Ace of Spades. And I couldn't figure out like, why is everyone mentioning the Ace of Spades? Because to me, it was just another song on this album. There was much better songs on the album than Ace of Spades, but that's what they were known for, right? Was that one song. But anyways, that was my blind buy for Motorhead, and it's it's in the top 5 of best bands. There
we go.
What the heck is that?
Oh, you didn't see this earlier? It's my Lemmy action figure. I just got this today.
Oh, I heard. I was setting up, and I heard something about it.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of action figures today. I'm going to open him up, and I'm going to display him behind me with Papa from Ghost and all my Iron Maiden figures.
Nice. I got a pop of Lemmy, and that's enough.
A Funko.
Funko Pop. Yeah, that's it. I'm not getting any more. No more toys. That's it. I hate that. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny, Kevin. I was wondering where you were going with this singing up thing, and I was like trying to picture it. But now that you mentioned Lemmy, I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
The microphone hangs down, and he sings up, and I just thought it was like this weird thing. And the big vocal cords like sticking out from his neck. I'm like, what is this band? But yeah, they ended up becoming one of my favorite bands. Now they are an acquired taste; they're not for everybody. I get that, but
yes,
I love the raw rock and roll blues stuff. So
I have a hard time listening to a lot of Motorhead in a row. Like it's just.
I got no problem with that.
Okay.
I can do the entire discography.
Wow, cool. For me, I need to take a break and maybe listen to something acoustic after the second or third album. But over to you, Mr. J. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is the only one I've still got a CD of.
Ooh, interesting.
Because I guess I've just not managed to find a copy on vinyl. There is copies out there, different titles, but they're usually going for a fortune. So this band I picked up 1998 or 97, maybe 98. It was because the link was that I'd read that Scott Weiland had done a song. So I was like, oh man, I'm going to check that out. And it's possibly, the third best blind buy I've ever made. Masters of Realities, How High the Moon, which is a live album recorded at the Viper Room.
Wow.
And this is fucking incredible, man. It's for the longest time. This has probably been my favorite live album. It's got a rumble to it. You put it on and just get a wee bit of volume, and it just rumbles. It's like the drums and the bass. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The songs are great.
I'm certainly aware of that band. Oh, look at that! You got Eric's attention. You got his attention. So good,
man. When we're talking about it's How High the Moon. There's reissues of kind of this, which I think are called Reality Show, but it's all 40 euros coming from Europe, and then putting the postage on top. It's just a bit of perfection indeed. I mean, this band led me down discovering so much. Queens of the Stone Age, all came from Masters of Reality. They're incredible. Plus, they've got a song in a Steven Seagal film, so that's pretty awesome. But when we're talking about Record Store Day, Sunrise and the Suffer Bus got released last year. Oh man, I had the most painful time because that's like a white whale for me. And I was, I'm going to get a copy of that natural coloured vinyl. I think it's like 2,500 of them in the world. So there's this, I think I've spoke about before, there's a store in Glasgow, and the guy's a dick, man. It's like, I'm all about supporting your local record stores, but this guy's a crook, man, right? So anyway, I was like, it's the only place it's got it. It's the only place I could find it. So I ordered a copy of him. This is like record store day, like 6 p.m. I ordered my copy. And then 4 days later, he sends me an email saying, I don't have this. So he had it online. He didn't have it. So he sent me an email. So I said to him, what the fuck? So anyway, I ended up buying a copy for America. I found one on Discogs. Didn't pay too much. I think it was like 30 odd dollars. And the guy, you know, the store was happy enough to put it down that it was a gift, so that way I didn't pay like crazy, get the, you know, the shipping fees if something comes in. So anyway, man, it's the best thing to have like on vinyl. I was like, yes, record store day isn't so bad after all. But they're like incredible, man, incredible.
Yeah,
I
have that one on CD.
I've got that one on CD too.
That does. I mean, everything. I think everything they've done is just great. Like Chris Goss is just incredible.
Yeah.
I've seen them live twice, and they're phenomenal live. And the last time I seen them live was like 2013. Obviously, it's like smoking bands and all that in clubs. And Chris Goss is sitting on stage, you know, smoking. Like, that's no cool, but it kind of is cool, you know. Like, here he is just sitting there smoking, finished it. Security guys are looking at him like, what do we do? He's like, it's totally not cool, man. But, you know, I'll give a wee sly nod because that is pretty cool. But, I mean, they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Like, Aaron, did you just grab your copy?
I thought I had a vinyl of it, but I don't. I just
okay.
have the CD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're heading into the top 2. And this is as close to a disqualification as I'm going to get, because this is the only album, I think the only album on my list that I actually knew one song. But in my defense, I probably hadn't heard that song since about 1985. And Aaron, you were with me on this day. You will remember this. You will remember how happy I was with this.
Oh, I know exactly what this is.
Yeah. Yeah. Even before I played it, I was really excited about this album. And then when I played it, I was just delighted. Now, here's my confusion is that when I first heard of this band back in the 80s, they played one of their music videos on the Pepsi Power Hour. And I assumed they were a heavy metal band. When I started looking them up, you know, in the internet age, nothing seemed to add up. You know, it didn't match my memory of this band. It turns out they were more like a comedy rock band that did all kinds of different styles of music, and that band was called Blotto. And this album changed my life. It really did. It was a bright spot, and this album is called, by the way, Combo Akimbo. But it was a bright spot to a dreary year, and I love every song in this album. It is hilarious. I really loved the song It's Not You, which is about dating a girl and her family is just awful. So he dumps her, but it's not you. It's your family that I can't stand. That's the actual chorus. It's not you. It's your family I can't stand. The drummer, Lee Harvey Blotto, later became a lawyer, and he is now known as F. Lee Harvey Blotto. He emailed me out of the blue because he read my review because I was raving about these guys that summer of 2018. Yeah, 2018. I was raving about these guys. He emailed me, and he's like, "Cool review, man. How would you like a free T-shirt?" And I was like, "Okay, thanks, man." So yeah, like, I don't know what to say. I mean, look at them. That guy's name is Bowtie Blotto. Sergeant Blotto, Cheese Blotto, Hollywood Blotto, Lee Harvey Blotto. I love these guys.
Like the Ramones.
You can just tell how giddy I am just talking about it. And so I went back and I started buying all their other stuff too. So that's my number 2, Blotto, Combo Akimbo, and Aaron I know you remember how excited I was there at the Poppers Pub that afternoon.
I haven't seen you that excited about an album since that one I mailed you with the Jumper song on it.
Right. That was the Sultans of Ping FC.
Sultans of Ping, yes.
Yeah.
That.
So Lana remembers our video here, that from when I was, at the Poppers Pub with you.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Did Kim Mitchell copy the title of Akimbo a logo? I doubt it, but you never know. These guys were from just across the river, not Buffalo, but somewhere close. No, they were from Albany, I believe. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to look it up because I don't want to sit here guessing. I know that they're very close to Canada. The song, incidentally, the song Albany, New York. The song that I heard on the Power Hour is a song called Metalhead, but it's kind of a spoof of the genre. I just assumed they were a metal band. They looked like one in the video, they looked serious about rocking.
So are they like a comedy band or?
Yeah. I find them hilarious, really. There's one
like
song
the Foo Fighters.
Sorry?
Like the Foo Fighters.
Like the Foo Fighters.
Sorry.
There's one song here that you might enjoy, Kevin. It's called Goodbye, Mr. Bond.
Sounds like it.
Yes, and I did do a post about one of the members dying. Sergeant Blotto passed away last year, I think. Very sad. And Cheese Blotto is also gone. Anyway, over to you, Aaron. What's your number 2? That was also BMV. We've had a couple purchases from BMV.
Oh, well, that was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of my collection comes from those 2 shops in Toronto. So,
heck yeah.
So my next one, I sort of went back and forth whether I would include this one or not, because there's a very famous name on here. But for me, this was a kind of a blind buy because it's not my kind of music.
Okay.
And so this is well, here we go. This is The Orb featuring David Gilmour, Metallic Spheres. I love David Gilmour, as of course, but The Orb was not my wheelhouse. And this is really sort of spacey. How do you even describe it? Psychedelic techno kind of stuff. It does have the bass player from Killing Joke on it.
Okay.
He calls himself Youth.
Yeah, Youth. He's a
he's
remixer. He's a producer, remixer. Yeah.
So he's on here as well. It's out there. It's not my usual kind of thing, but of course the David Gilmour connection pulled me in. So
cool.
Just different.
Totally, that counts as a blind buy, because if you're a Pink Floyd fan and you buy that, you're not getting Pink Floyd.
Not at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Good one, Aaron. Sarah?
I'm gonna need this record
Okay.
because he complains.
What do you mean I complain?
If I didn't talk about it. Okay, so I'm in high school. Last year of high school, I have a friend who, funny enough, had a radio show on college radio, university radio. At Laurentian University, they have their own radio where they play songs and stuff like that. And somehow she got her own show with a friend of hers, and they would play a whole bunch of different songs. And she made a tape of it, and she would play it over lunchtime. And I listened to these songs, and one song just really caught me. I'm like, oh my God, I need a copy of whatever it is that you're playing there. I have the case. I no longer have the cassette, but I have the case.
Okay.
And so it was I Only Said by My Bloody Valentine.
Oh.
Do you want me to get the album now?
Get the album out.
Boy, he's really missing his cues.
So here
You're fired.
Good.
So, my sister at the time was living in London. She went to Western. And I went to visit her. because in Sudbury you can't find anything worth a damn in Sudbury. And in London at HMV, they happen to have a copy of My Bloody Valentine, Loveless.
I've seen that one before. Yeah.
And it was like $28.
Yeah.
And no one was buying it, and it had a sticker on it that was like, it was like shitty, like it was all rubbed off, and you know, it had been there for a long time. And I decided, well, what the hell? So I bought it, and it ended up changing my life. I love this album from top to bottom, and it's not for everybody. It's considered shoegaze and distortion. You hardly hear the lead singer singing, but I love it.
Nice.
For my cold dead hands. anyways, I found it on vinyl. You want to?
From my cold dead hands.
There we go.
There, I love
And
to
it's-
zoom in.
I spent $45 on this thing.
Wow.
Yeah, she spends more money than I do on vinyl.
For my cold dead hands, what can I say? I had to have it. Anyways, that's my number 2. Thanks.
It's an
Kevin.
Look at my mom here. She's got a point. We've been on for almost 3 hours.
Yeah,
Thank God we're heading into the final round.
telling us to do something else.
He's still awake.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad about this. It's 3 a.m. But okay, let's finish the number 2s and then let's do the final round.
Okay. Some people are going to be surprised that this is my number 2.
Okay.
Here you go. Look at this. Number 2.
It's a-
Only
it's
number 2.
Wow, that was a blind buy?
Believe it or not, this was a complete blind buy.
Wow.
So you got to take into consideration the time that when I bought this, it was, the early 90s when like all the music was just shifting over to grunge,
Yeah.
Alice in Chains and that. So this kind of stuff was not getting played. Now, when I finally got, like, it wasn't on the radio for sure in
Right.
Sudbury. The heaviest thing they would play on the radio is Why Can't This Be Love by Van Halen.
Oh,
that would
yeah.
be it, right? Like that'd be.
Yeah.
So, AC/DC was not getting played on the radio. So, when I finally got Much Music, I of course saw Thunderstruck, but it was another song that I heard on Much Music called "You Shook Me All Night Long." So I went to the record store to try to find this song, and there was 2 albums that had it, Back in Black, but I chose Who Made Who because I just liked the cover. It just looked cooler, right? It just like a nice little art design and all that. But anyways, and then they became my favorite band. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I knew I liked that one song, but I remember I went shopping with my mom and sister who were buying dresses or something, and I just went right to Sam the Record Man. I bought this, and then I went and found my mom, and I got the keys to the van from my mom. I said, I'll wait for you in the van. And I put this in the cassette deck. And as soon as I heard the drums for Who Made Who, I'm like, yeah, this is my band. This is it right here. I love this. And I was actually disappointed to see my mom and sister come back so soon. I think I got up to DT, and they were already walking back to the van. I was like, you guys could take longer, I'm okay in here. But anyways, that's my number 2.
Brilliant.
Who Made Who?
And look at Lana here, eh?
Yeah, you can go check out my blog. Sure, buriedonmars.com. I pretty much told the same story on my review of Who Made Who. There you go.
Oh, that's great. All right, Jay, number 2.
I guess this might be cheating, maybe, this one. I had been aware of the band through friends who kind of liked them. I had heard one song but couldn't really remember it. And then I was can't remember what record store it was, maybe HMV at the time. And this album was, on the walls, the CDs, and they were all there. And I was like, yeah, that looks awesome. Like, it looked like one of these old sort of films, forgotten pieces of cinema. But I didn't bother picking it up then. And then I was at a record fair, and I seen it for £8 on CD. And this probably like one of those life-changing albums, because at that I mean, the time I kind of found this, I was into kind of all your stuff that was linked to grunge, all your alternative rock stuff, and that was pretty much where I lived. And then, like I say, I'd seen that, and I mean the artwork's just spectacular. And obviously the CD, so the CD, didn't really have a patch on that. So I just bought it, and I put it on, and it wasn't really what I expected, because I kind of knew it was like This Here Giraffe, the song, like it's the Flaming Lips song. I think everybody knew, or She Don't Use Jelly, which I'd heard afterwards. But This Here Giraffe was the song that I knew that my mate he liked. And then when I put that on, I was like, holy shit, man, this is like incredible. The big bombastic drums, and the way the keyboard, the synth and everything just comes in. It's dead bombastic. It's dead, dead noisy. It's, like very noisy. But it's lots of depth, man. It's probably top five favorite albums.
That's cool. I was wondering. Flaming Lips. Yes, I remember you were a huge Flaming Lips fan.
Well, yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Well, that's cool. Look at that. Blind concert.
There we go.
That could be
That's
another
cool.
show. Blind concert.
That could be another show. I unfortunately I don't have any.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean opening acts, but that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is it. Final round. I'm going to take us out with an album that has made lists before. Here's the story. Is that a movie soundtrack, Jay? Because it kind of looks like one.
It does look like one, but no, it's not. It's just an actual album, proper. But I can't remember the picture that's used on the front. It's like, I think it's for the 60s. So, but
Okay.
I mean, that was the thing. When I seen it, I thought it looked like this old sort of, like basically a 60s kind of classic movie that maybe somebody's forgot, that kind of thing. It's incredible, but the way it's all done, like all the artwork and everything, it does actually kind of set it all out as if it is, that presents, and it's like a score. It's
Yeah. Well,
just
they're kind of what's the word? They're kind of cinematic as a band sometimes.
Aye. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that's probably, I think, the album that put them maybe on the map for a lot of people. Like, they paid attention, because I mean, it's
I agree.
obviously quite big. The one after that, Yoshimi,
Yeah, big album too.
which is huge, but I don't think it's anywhere near. Like, I know everybody, knows Yoshimi. Everybody loves Yoshimi.
Yeah, it's a great album.
But I mean, I think that if I was putting them in, they did, yes.
Wow.
It's quite something. I put it on one day.
One day, there you go.
Let's do it.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they shortened it. I think they'd done a record store day release. They shortened it down to like an hour or something.
What an editing job that would be.
I know. It's quite a
I had a mosquito bite on my cheek.
I think it was SoundCloud. You remember SoundCloud? Is that even a thing
Mhm.
still?
Yeah, I
they had
think
it
so, yeah.
They had the 24-hour song up on SoundCloud.
Wow.
So
I don't even know how I would go about listening to that in
It's-
chunks, I guess.
I put it on. Kind of, I was in the house, but I was pottering about. I wasn't just sitting listening to
Yeah.
something for 24 hours. I was pottering about. And then I did go to sleep, but I kind of kept on. Like, well, obviously, I'm assuming it went in there, 'cause that's what music does, isn't it? Like,
It's got to go somewhere.
aye, you go to sleep, you still hear. I mean, surely you still hear things when you're sleeping.
I would assume so. I don't
brain
know. I
still
mean,
hears
you
it.
get you can get woken up by a loud noise, so why not?
So I think you still hear things. So I'm assuming I heard the full song.
You heard the whole thing
I heard the whole
in
thing.
one sitting.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go to my number one.
Yep.
I've told this story before. I will tell it again. We were at a record store party. I believe we were at Will McRob's house. Tom Morwood puts on an album, and he's like, "Hey, Mike, you got to hear this this band. This is this new Aussie album." And I was like, "What new Aussie album?" "Oh, it's leaked. It's leaked." And he puts on a band called Chevy, and they sound exactly like vintage Black Sabbath. But this story is not about that album. This story is about the other album that he recommended that night that I bought. Chevy, I heard he played it, so I can't count that as a blind buy. Then he said, "Pick this up, Brant Bjork Halamanta." This was like literally on one of my lists a couple of weeks ago. He said it's the drummer from Fu Manchu, but he's singing and he's playing guitar. He's playing everything, actually. It's like a Wolfgang Van Halen kind of deal. He's playing everything. You got to hear it. It's like Fu Manchu laid back, surfy, surf rock Fu Manchu laid back. And I'm like, what the fuck is that going to sound like? I have to buy this. So I literally came home from that party, woke up the next morning, and I ordered Chevy and I ordered Brant Bjork Halamanta from Amazon, I guess it probably was. And it's been love ever since. This is the first copy that I bought. I've since bought it 2 more times. They reissued it on vinyl with a different cover and a additional track, Take Me Away by Blue Oyster Cult. And then they released a remixed version of it in a digipack, which I thought was next to me, but is not next to me. Regardless, this is the version, this is the copy that I bought that day, that blind buy. Only knowing the name Brant Bjork, only knowing Fu Manchu, laid back surf rock. That doesn't tell you enough to inform you to make it not a blind buy. No, this is a blind buy, and it's my number 1 blind buy because it is a fucking brilliant album. That's my number 1. If I had my things written down on a piece of paper, this is the part of the show where I ball up the paper and throw it behind me. Over to you, Aaron. What's your number 1?
Well, and you have recommended that album to me before.
Yeah.
I have still not got a copy, but there you go.
That's because I kept my 3.
No, I wasn't. I just never found one. I never bought one. If we're ever in Toronto and I see it, I will pick it up.
For sure.
Now, I haven't.
If we're ever in Toronto. God, I hope so. I hope so.
You know what? I said to my dad, because they're looking at the 14th of June, which is this week. They're looking at the 14th of June to start opening things up. I said, man, we got to go. I don't care. We just got to, we'll wear masks. We'll get in, we'll get out, but we got to go. We got to get out of this town. Because I've been in this house since March of 2020. I haven't worked. I haven't done, I've been here with the kids. They've been doing their school. We got to go. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
Let me know, man, if I'm feeling up to it.
Yeah. I have had 1 shot. I haven't had both.
Yeah, me neither. So we might be talking late summer.
So my last one, my number 1 is I haven't numbered these. Like, I'm not at my favorite of all time or anything. This is just the last one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be controversial for the cover art one more time.
Okay.
For the name of the album. It's nothing graphic. It's just the name of the album.
Okay.
This is a U.S. psychedelic rock band that I had no idea existed. I grabbed this at work, actually. Bought it really cheap. Their singles were the title track. There was a song called Nick Cave Dolls and another one called Folks Song. They also did covers of Dudley Moore's Bedazzled and The Weavers' Kisses Sweeter Than Wine.
Okay.
And this is a band called Bong Water. And the album, I will allow you to read it yourself.
Okay. There we go.
Whoa.
Hello. Okay.
Yeah, we got you.
So this is, there they are.
Okay. They look nice.
Yeah, they look like people you could bring home to your mom.
Absolutely. I was going to say take them to church.
Yeah. But it's definitely weird. It's a little bit out there. But this was absolutely a blind buy. I mean, I picked that up and I went, yeah. And I didn't even know what it was. Like I just
looks like something Holden would listen to.
No, but it's not. It's not. No, just because that word is in the title, right? Like it's just that they have other albums as well. It's not like a one-off or anything. This was a band that just put this out, and it's good. I wouldn't play it all the time, but Bong Water.
Bong Water. I love the name and not the title of the album, but whatever, you know. It's like, we've already
find different things, you know, that I grabbed for whatever reason, you know.
We've already offended all the broads in the room.
No.
How do you know he's talking about you?
This is true.
Anyway,
Do you need a vinyl album?
I do.
My show's getting absolutely
I know
canceled.
what you need.
Yes, the very last one, please and thank you.
Okay, so let's make sure Kevin doesn't miss his cue this time. Let's go. What's your number
All
one,
right.
Sarah?
I'm done. You showed it. I didn't show it. You showed
So, I used to watch a lot of Blue Jays.
Yes.
The Toronto Blue Jays. There was one year where every night, tune to the Blue Jay game, watch. And during that time, they aired a commercial that pretty much, it was for Corona, the beer.
Right.
The beer, where it showed a woman diving into the water juxtaposed with the dropping of lime into the bottle of a Corona, And during this commercial played this really beautiful instrumental song, to the point where I was like, oh my God, what is this song? And I'd take Shazam, and Shazam would know what it was. And I took to Reddit, because Reddit always tells you everything you could ever possibly know. And somebody said it is a band called Krungbin. Number 7, Krangbin. And the song is number 7. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I took to YouTube and I listened to it. Like, holy shit, that's the song. Where can I find this thing? And of course, they are incredibly hard to find. But I did find this album that's called The Universe Smiles Upon You.
Nice cover.
It's beautiful.
How do you spell this band?
Yeah.
KHUN.
Oh my Lord.
GBIN.
And the album is called What? The Universe Smiles Upon You.
Upon You. Yep. Total
They done
blind
a-
buy, because the song that I'm seeking is not on this. It's actually on an EP type of album that's sold out and being sold on Discogs for forget it.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
When you go to a record store and you ask for Krungbin, the guys know. They know. They're like, oh yeah, we know that, and they know, like, because it comes into the store and it disappears right off the shelf right away.
When I bought this, nobody knew who they were. Like the guy didn't know.
The guy
but
even put like a description of what kind of music they are. Unique,
Right.
psychedelic vibe that, what does that say? Hangs
Into
constants and eras. I don't know.
what does it say here?
You tell me.
A vibe that hangs between continents and eras.
There you go.
So this was from Greece.
Oh.
They picked it up in Greece. And
Why is Bill still watching?
Bill,
this?
go away.
Go sleep.
Yeah, so the guy ordered it from Greece, and I'm like, can you get more from Greece? Can you possibly? And he can't. Like, so, and now, like, you throw forward, when did I get this? A couple years ago?
Yeah.
You throw forward, and since then I've gotten a lot of, well, several.
We have about 6 or 7.
6 or 7, and everyone knows who they are, and they all buy them up. And good luck to you.
Because
if
the
you
pressing
lose
is
them.
limited
Yeah.
for them.
Good luck to you if you lose out.
But you can find them on YouTube. They do this. What's that show called? It's like they're
Tiny
in like
Desk.
tiny desks where they're in the
Yeah.
library and they just perform in a library,
Yeah.
and it's fantastic. It's just it's a bass player, a drummer, and a guitar player, and the drummer comes up with the loops. Then he brings his loops over to the bass player, and she does her thing over the bass, and then they send it over to the guitar player, and he does his thing over it, and then they just edit it all together, and they create this wonderful.
Man.
It's instrumental music with maybe a little bit of oohs and ahs, but it's good.
So
I know, Bill. We
We're
got to
just
bust your
kidding.
chops. Come on, you're so
Jeez.
sensitive. Come on. Jeez.
I heard that.
Sensitive Bill over there.
Anyways, I love the cover of this. It's right in my wheelhouse, and I love this album, and I love this band, and I can gush and gush for days about it. And that's it. My number one.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
So if there are ones that you're looking for, they should be on the KMA Grail list. So
They might
email
be.
me.
I don't know.
Or are they?
They might
Well,
be.
maybe
No,
double
they're
check.
probably
in the morning.
not.
Oh well.
Fucking
Probably not.
mosquito. Ugh. Fucking mosquito
The
got me right in
prices
the
are
cheek.
so much for the stuff that we don't have that it's almost cost prohibitive. But
Okay, I'm just looking now. Hold on. I will
Done an
confirm.
EP last year with Leon Bridges, eh?
The one I'm seeking is it's called The Infamous Bill.
The infamous Bill. He was just commenting earlier.
Well,
I don't know if you
that's
heard about
one.
the infamous Bill, but I heard that he was one of the jackasses that was lined up at 7 a.m. today in front of the headband store.
No, Sarah, the only ones I have for you are Andrew Cash, Boomtown, Ray Lyle and the
You have that
Storm,
already.
I have
self-titled,
I have. You might as well eliminate.
We need to
everything off
update.
that list.
We need to
and
update.
Zappa Costa's first self-titled, I guess.
Well, let's
So-
move on.
I think I'm still looking for that one.
I don't have that other one, so email me.
We can do the
Okay.
administrative work tomorrow.
Yeah. Just, that's fine.
I don't know about Jay, but I'm at the point where I'm going to want to be going to bed pretty soon. But Kevin, aside from making fun of Bill, which is always fun, what else do you have to end this list?
I could do that for another 3 hours if you'd
I'd like
but-
you to throw in your number one. Just throw in a good chirp at Bill.
That's too much pressure now.
Okay, just your
I need,
just
like,
your number
It has
one
to
then.
be-
Just
that
your
has
number
to
one.
be natural.
He has to give me something.
Bill, this is an IOU. Don't troll my guests.
Okay, so what could be bigger than AC/DC in my world? Well, this
Oasis.
artist not only introduced me to himself and his music, but to an entire new genre of music. I've always when I listen to rock and roll, I always like the bluesier parts, like anything that's like a blues song or whatever. So where do I start with the blues? I'm thinking I want to start listening to some blues. This is in the 90s, before internet, before I could download songs or whatever. So I just grabbed this one album because they said that this guy is the best and he's the king of the blues. And I heard a little bit, but not like a full song or anything like that. So I picked up this compilation called B.B. King, Why I Sing the Blues. It's a cheap compilation. I think I picked it up for $10. It only has 10 songs on it, but this was my entire gateway into the genre. I loved it. I loved every song on it. I love B.B. King. The Thrill Is Gone, of course, I had heard, but all the other songs I had never heard before, and it's still like a great compilation. It's only 10 songs, but it's good. It's good stuff. So that's my number one. That was my blind
That's a
purchase.
brilliant.
Number one.
To have BB King. Sorry.
I said BB King could play one song, and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it.
Yep.
Okay, Jay. This is it. This is the last one of the last round.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I know, feeling it.
Nope.
I could have went for tons. I
Yeah.
found this, probably same as you guys, quite difficult because I was it was my favourite of all time because I've found some of my favourite artists just through, blind pickups. This one is going back, I think 1999 was when I picked this up. I picked it up, I was walking through, it was Virgin Megastores. They used to do the 5 CDs for £30. And I was flicking through them. And the front cover grabbed me. And then I seen the name and I was like, oh, my mate likes them. One of my good pals I used to work with, he was a good guy. He'd mentioned this band a few times. So anyway, I had heard of them, but not any albums. So flicking through, I actually picked 4 other albums because I wanted this CD, because it was just such a striking cover. This might be obvious. I think I've maybe mentioned them before. In terms of songwriters, this guy, I mean, even band or solo, the depth of his words, the way he sings them, his performance is fucking incredible, man. It's the kind of stuff that just annihilates. You know, you just sit there and you listen to it and you go, geez. You know, his lyrics are just plough depths that, man, you just can't touch. But my number one is American Music Club's Mercury. This album is huge for me. Actually, a couple of years ago, I had the fortune to open for Mark Heitzel in Glasgow, and so I got to meet him at the end, and it was one of those. He's quite an awkward performer, in terms of he doesn't like, you know, I guess he's just quite nervous. But I met him afterwards when he was leaving, and I mean, I used to listen to this album. I mean, I sat with headphones on, listening to everything, every wee nook and cranny of every note, every word, every stretching syllables, everything. I used to sit there and go, oh man, this guy's amazing. So after the gig, I'd seen him and I was like, hey, Mark, and he was like, oh, you know, hello. I said to him, man, huge influence, like your music. And then I said, you know, I used to listen to American Music Club's Mercury, like non-stop, you know, headphones on or just through the stereo. And he was like, say sorry to your parents. I was like, cool. But man, this, it's absolutely incredible stuff. Like it's got that kind of really deep kind of introspective stuff, but it's got a wee bit more. It's got that kind of punk sensibility to it as well, you know. It's like, it's so good, man. So deep, so fucking encapsulates everything. It's just an incredible album. Just, you know, everything about being human is right in there. It's fucking amazeballs. Honestly, man, it's like your favorite big bowl of your favorite rice and beans and awesome sauce. You know, it's amazeballs. It's good, man.
Cool.
Rice and beans
with some awesome sauce.
Oh man,
that one. That's cool.
That's a great bunch of lists. That's fucking great.
Not a single duplicate.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't know if this is a first or not, but it might very well be the first time we've ever done a list show without a single duplicate. And Aaron, you will text me those photos, the photos of your lists?
Of course.
Yeah.
Apologies to everyone who tries to read it.
Aaron's the official scorekeeper, and I don't feel like transcribing his stuff into typing. So,
are you going to send him photos of those album covers as well?
No,
only if you want.
No, but we do want to see. We do want to see the photos of the, what was it, naked jumping jacks or whatever it was that Bill said you were doing. I can't remember, but Bill's stealing this idea, which is fine. That was great. It's Kevin's idea.
Ideas come from other shows.
It's Kevin's idea. So really, you know.
Yeah.
And I do apologize. I'm sorry. It didn't occur to me that there would be cover art that would bring that up in conversation. To me, it's just another album, right? I don't think of it that way. But
we were off the rails as soon as Eric made his comment. I don't think Sarah and Aaron had almost the same pick, but they did have the same albums, I think.
Oh yeah, one of Sarah's was one of my also rants.
It's also rants. There you go.
That's right. Yeah.
The John Bottomley.
Paying attention. She's the only one.
Oh, and you know, now might be a good time to mention Lana has agreed to come on to the show.
Yes.
July 23rd, which I believe that's your birthday, so I don't know if you're going to be on. But we're doing a celebration of
Yeah,
Harrison's birthday that day.
Yeah.
And Lana will be along for the top 11 songs that make your skin vibrate.
Mm.
And you think I'm okay.
In a good way or a bad way, does it matter?
Sorry, what's that?
In a good way or a bad way?
In a good way. Let's hope. Anyway, that's the way I want it to be, in a good way. Anyway, I would love to stay and chat, but dudes, we've been on for 3.5 hours.
It's a long show.
Holy crap. That's all my fault. I'm the fucking traffic cop, so anyway, thank you, Jay, for 3.5 hours after midnight. Thank you, Aaron, as always. Kevin and Sarah, again, thank you so much. Do you guys want to just take a second to plug your shit or no?
Sure. I'm still putting up a song a day, and I'm going through the stuff from 2020 that I bought that I meant to do. So I'm not getting back into albums, but I'm doing those. And Jay, if you're ever in the shops, you need to try a Tone Master. They're freaking phenomenal.
Yep.
I am in love. There you go.
Kevin and Sarah, you're still working your way through the hip, and you got World Container coming.
That's right.
And then we watched Die Another Day.
More Bond, and yeah.
We watched Die Another Day last night. I already wrote my review, so it'll be posted next week. It was a movie.
It was a movie. And Jay, you can now be found at the Wax Ecstatic website on WordPress.
Yep. I've no written anything for a while, but I think I started writing something, so I might finish it soon. I like just hanging out and commenting and quoting controversy if I can.
Well, speaking of hanging out, we're going to have you back at some point.
Yes, please.
Because we got so much more that we can cover easily, and
Well, it's
maybe
obviously Seagal
get you on with
movies,
some other. Sorry,
the Nigel Tufnel top 10 Seagal movies, probably.
Oh no, couldn't do it.
Submerged. That's all you need.
Submerged,
11 times.
probably. I think that'd probably be my number 3.
I think
don't
that's
see
the one we're going to do. That's the show right there. He suggested it. Kevin's on board automatically because we know he's got some. And anyway,
have that many movies?
He's got a lot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of movies, man.
A lot of direct to video.
Right.
Oh,
right. And you could even count stuff that he was in, like Machete or Under Siege.
Oh, that's like,
or not Under Siege. What's the one I'm thinking of?
Executive
Airplane.
Decision.
Yeah. That's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, so listen, I have to get some rest because I'm doing this again tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Andy Curran from Coney Hatch for his third round. Super Deeks will be with us. I thank you guys for showing up.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Oh, thanks, guys. It's so nice to hang out with you. But you know what? I always go out on a song, so why don't you guys request another one that's not ODP and not Water from the Hose, because that's for tomorrow.
Host choice. I don't know.
Okay, well, Max the Axe. Then we're gonna do.
Oh yeah, but I thought only.
I was trying to think.
I'm gonna do Next Plane to Vegas. Max the Axe.
Sure.
Good too.
Okay. Rock and roll, guys. Thank you so much, and hopefully see you tomorrow at 1.
Okay.
See you later, folks.
Bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Bye.
I can't put my thumbs up. Crown Royal Apple. Slaint.